way to gang stalk a lady. And what's come out in the court case is that they went into her garage and they were putting a device in the mechanics, on top, on the ceiling in the garage, the motor that opens the garage door. They were putting something in that motor. Is it possible that that's where the device is?
My mother has thousands of devices in her yard. This is just one.
Yeah, they're capable of doing just about anything, and it's all very militarized.
Every targeted individual has hundreds and hundreds of devices. They're transmitters, and they're usually hacked, and most of them work on one MAC address or two MAC addresses, which I'm going to take you through right now. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this database from WiggleFi. So you need to download your WiggleFi database, I'd say every few days, and email it to yourself. Give it a date. It automatically gives a date. Just name it WiggleFi, January 10th, whatever. So then you look at this one and you look at that one and you go, okay, they're the same SSIDs and they're the same MAC addresses. Do you see that? So I showed you one location. There's this location. So it's in the same latitude and longitude for those four. But they're different devices. So some of them they're retransmits. They've got their own MAC addresses. But you can go, I've gone through my mother's whole network. So this is her network, 374. It's 374 all the way down. That's supposed to be her router. So MTS 374, 374, 374. And then it starts getting screwy. There's her MAC address, and it's perp. Okay? You have to go through your router. So once I found this MAC address, I'm like, what the hell? Should be all the same. It's got the same MAC address. So I copied it. And I populated it and I did a search for it in here. And I traced this to multiple perps. It's just crazy. So I'm like, where the hell is this? I'm like, what the hell? This is how far these people go.
Yeah, so zoom out. It's the only business nowadays. They're the only ones making money nowadays. Everybody else is getting, we're getting poor.
So I'm like, okay, 14-4 Schreier Crest and St. Andrews. So this is my group.
Have you noticed that there's lots of correlations between with airports? I don't know if you have, but I have. And
they fly over my mom's house. But look at this, is where this airport is. They're right directly connected to my mother's network. So there's the airport way the hell over there. My mother lives Cambridge 59, Maple Ridge 59, Birds Hill. So my mother lives over here. And the planes, it's not a commercial landing port, but they're driving all the traffic directly over top of her house.
I'm in a flight path. I literally have stealth bombers around, we have the Rose Bowl around the, New Year's over my apartment. And this has been going on for decades. It is a direct, and I'm in what you call the Angeles Crest Forest, which means it's government. Nobody really lives there, but it's I don't know. I'm very curious. I almost wanted you to put me up because I want to see what the hell's going on.
Well, I want to show you.
Nina, are you in the Pasadena area?
I'm close to it. I'm west of Pasadena.
Are you in Altadena?
No, I'm in. I'm above Glendale. If you've heard of Glendale.
Okay, I know the area very well. I used to live there.
Okay.
And I just want to say something that we can get back to at some time in the future, but I want Bobby to hear this also.
Okay.
Nina lives right where the Dave Larson report identified all of his scientists.
Oh my
Who the
gosh.
fucking hell is
with
that?
the ham radios in their garages.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, shit. I need to know this. I don't know anything about this. I'm like, who is this? I mean, yeah. When Bobby's going, oh, holy crap. Yeah.
Now, of course, where I'm all confused and I don't have an answer for this is that report talks about ham radios, and of course, you're finding MAC addresses in these sensors. So,
Well, no,
you know,
I actually recorded a ham operator using peer block. They beamed right into my network. They hacked right into my network. I've got their IDs and everything. Ham operator.
I don't know if you girls noticed this yet, but like, oh, so much of this is like over my head, and
I
that's
need
okay.
to I need to get in contact with you. I need to communicate with you. Okay.
Yeah, you can write down my numbers:
Okay.
386.
Let me get my pen. You can even hear them right now. They were quiet for a while. Shoot.
So,
But I'm learning. I will
getting
study
back to
this all
this.
day, every day.
We
I'm
all
dead,
are.
Bobby. I will learn.
If there's one thing, you know, if it's not, I mean, you could be smart in one area, and you have to learn in other areas.
Well, I will. I've, look, I will learn. But I just, there are some things that I know, and this, I will look at. I watch Bobby's videos over and over and over again, and I'll get it. Okay, so my number is 386
Okay.
898
Okay.
2283. 386 898 2283. I'm
Okay.
in Florida right now,
Okay.
so I'm 3 hours later, but
Okay.
call anytime.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll explain the Dave Larson report and send that to you on Twitter. I actually, I think you follow me. I follow you. I'm on your page right now. I'm not
What is your
sure.
last name?
I'm Barbara Harrison. I'll tell you what, I'll send you a direct message right now
Okay.
so you can see. I go by Alethea.
What was that?
This
Alacia?
I go by, yeah, I'm just going to send you
Okay.
a message so you
Okay.
see who I am.
Yeah, because I don't know, you know, because it's true. Because people will go by different handles, and I won't know.
Hey Lee, are you finding this stuff?
Okay, so I just sent you a DM in
Okay.
Twitter.
Okay. Alrighty.
All right.
Okay.
I see, because when somebody comes near me, like you're near me now, I want to know what you're about. And the first thing I saw that you know about the first responders. And at first I wasn't sure or clear on, like, are you friends with them or do you get it? And no, you get it. They're like our perps.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And there's many levels to them. This is military theater. This is not just military exercise. This is
Well,
military
I
theater.
can tell you guys, I've traced this to 5 residential houses that are perping my mother. They're directly connected to her network. They're inside of her router. They've put devices in her yard, and it connects also to 3 vehicle companies. 3 vehicle companies. A whole bunch of different entities. Like, I'm going to do a whole whack of orders because I don't really know what else to do. I'm going to serve all these cocksuckers. I know that my police are involved for sure, for a fact. I mean, they've driven by, they've assaulted me multiple times driving by. They've parked behind the house and I've been assaulted in my badge. Like, it's just a fact.
I want to bring up that I want you to consider that someone has said that they want to own her property. We know this is about property theft.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Or this comes down to my mother's stuff. It's Qualico Homes. They've got new developments going up all around my mom's house. So, I mean, really, she doesn't make big money. Her property's worth money. Why don't you just fucking offer her a decent amount of money for her
Because they're trying
property,
to steal
right?
everything. And this is going back to all these, I know it sounds nuts, but it's like I'm so damn close to it. These ET, whatever demonic, all this other crap and this Nazi stuff, the ET, like Eisenhower ET treaties, and the international bankers, they owe. And they just want to steal everything, and it's been this big exchange as if it was for technology. And even more so. I know it sounds nuts, but that's why I kind of try and work.
No, you know what? It doesn't sound nuts. I've seen so much shit in here It's just absolutely freaking ridiculous.
Well, what I notice also is like, I'll learn a term or an agency or a bill or, I'll learn something. And it's like, then the next week I learn about another agency. And at this point, it's like, who is not involved in this crime?
More like it. Yeah. Well, see, I'm trying to see. Okay, just to kind of let you know about me. Mine went international, but I spent a few grand. I got my body scanned by a company, the Dr. Stanager, one of the companies, and they're a security company, because a lot of people, they go, why do you get a security company? Because that's what you requires. That's what's admissible in court. They get their background checks, blah, blah, blah. And then they're allowed the equipment. That's how the system works. So I have my body scanned. The equipment, Dr. Senator is telling me, is $100,000 that they were using on me to scan my body. I have nanotech. My stuff started electronically when my baby sister committed suicide on the West Coast. It's called San Luis Obispo County. It's wine country. It's off the coast, the ocean. It's ag and all that other crap. But that's when they got me. When I went into the coroners, which is connected to the sheriffs because they're small, they're called unincorporated. And my deputy coroner, who's handling my baby's case and also did the autopsy on her, I'm trying to see her, and they're playing games with me and saying, oh, you have to pay us $325. And I'm like going, did you identify the body? Oh, no, we just used her ID. But to make the long and the short of it, okay, this guy, I know, I just love this. It's not against Canadians. But my perp, because it was nepotism and all this stuff, his daddy was doctor, and they worked in the coroner's department. And he still even has family that are still doctors. He's not. He was a deputy coroner. But, he did the autopsy, and he's a germaphobe. And then I'm trying to con him into letting me see my sister so I can have my goodbyes. But if I was Muslim, of course they would let me. But anyway, and he goes, can I give you a hug goodbye? And that's when I got their nanotech Morgellons. And that's where Dr. Stanager comes in. I spent a few grand. I know who my patent holders are. And all this whole scam, garbage, medical level of hiding it and just making it these people that are supposed medical professionals, and they're just scum. Oh, it's Lyme disease, it's this. No, it is not. Okay? It is this nanotech. And but I'm glad of that part. But I spent a few grand, and I've proven it, and I'm moving up the next levels, and I'm trying to get the equipment to capture my my visuals on my Psychotronics, not the audio. Amy Holland's doing that. I'm not really that interested in the audio, because if you can see what I see, not just you, the whole world will freak out. And I'm questioning why people who are supposed ufologists and all this crap and all, I just love aliens and ETs. I've offered, I say, hey, if you could come up with the 15 grand, and we can show the world and, whatever, make better contact. And no one said anything. It was like crickets. Crickets. And I'm going, okay, so,
Hey, Nina, I want to get the scan for my sister and I, right?
Uh-huh.
Because this is my government, this is organized crime. I believe it's organized crime, like Hell's Angels. I mean, there's so many vehicle companies.
Uh-huh. They work for them.
Yeah, where is this security company located?
It's in Utah. Utah. He does a body scan, and he was cheaper than Melinda Kidder. Melinda Kidder pissed me off. She's like, she wanted two grand to do her body scan. It's a SCADA. It's whatever. It's nice. And she kind of goes, I'm not taking any clients right now. And I'm like, here, going. Now, who turns down $2,000 for like about an hour's worth of work? I was pissed. So I went this guy, and it happened to be another TI Canadian who has been telling us in the TI community. I vetted him, and it turns out the dude was real as day, and he's out of Utah. And then, the next things, I start asking him questions. I was even looking in the movie industry because I found out my frequencies. In particular, one of them, it's called exclusive under FCC, exclusive federal use. And it covers FM radio, TV broadcasting, and aircraft communications. That's a 239.99 megahertz. And when the guys were doing my scanning, they were giving me some weird looks that I don't even know how to even express to this day, because they couldn't believe it, because this wasn't biological frequencies coming out of my body. From the nanotech, you don't have to have microchipped. Okay, so this was especially important to people that are suffering from this crap nanotech where they're, victimizing us and doing this
You
fake
know what?
clinical trials.
I have to interrupt you, Nina.
Hmm.
The nanotech is factual and
Hmm.
it does have MAC addresses.
Oh,
It
really?
registers on your
Oh,
network.
oh, this
It's
is good.
I need to teach Barb how
Hmm.
to use Wireshark, and you
Okay.
will greatly benefit from Wireshark
Okay.
because they'll actually show you
Hmm.
who's registered patents, and they'll take patents out on you regularly.
Uh-huh.
These people just took patents out on me in the last
Uh-huh.
couple of weeks.
Uh-huh. Yeah, but they call
Okay,
this drug
so
addicts. Yeah.
well, you know what? We're jumping all over the place here, and Bobby wants to show us something, but I
Okay.
am, because I know all the people you're talking about, Nina, and I own my own scanning equipment, and I did pay Melinda Kidder. I will have a couple questions for you while we're on this topic.
Okay.
Melinda uses a device called ASECO,
Hmm.
ASECO, and the ASECO is what shows the unique identifying number that the FCC licensed.
Hmm.
And I think she's using it, and I think she's using a JM20 Pro because she has to write her equipment in her documents that would be supplied to the courthouse. So
Uh-huh.
I'm wondering if in the report that you got from the security company, if they identified what equipment they used.
I don't recall. I'm not exactly sure, but I do have the report, and
Okay.
I would love
And
to go to Melinda Kidder. She co-wrote the book with Dr. Sanager. She just kind of like, I'm not taking any clients right now when Dr.
okay.
Sanager kind of opened it up, and then
Well, she was merciful with you. She quoted me
yeah,
$5,000.
I've been hearing that shit. I really have been. I really have been. It's scary. It is really scary.
So let me interject, ladies.
Mhm.
I am one of the few people. Skizit Gesture is the other one.
Who's that?
We're the only people that have seen, other than Stanager, that have seen um the highest number of everyone's reports. And I'll just tell you that all reports are not equal when they come from Melinda and Stanager. Mine is the most elaborate and extensive, and I think that it is because of the time frame. I was one of the first people. I got it 7 years ago. So, with that said, I can tell you that the 9 other reports I've seen are shit, and I wouldn't have paid 1,000. I wouldn't have paid 500. I wouldn't pay anything for the shitty reports that I've seen.
Really?
So I think it would be
Mhm.
helpful to compare the new report that you have
Mhm.
with what I have.
Okay.
And it's just my opinion, but I think you can trust my opinion because I've read so many of them. And I have a daughter and I have her report. And I'm curious to know if this new security company, how I would rate their report. Like, would I say that it was comparable to mine, or is it like the shitty ones that Melinda and Stanager started putting out? So, quick question. How much did you pay the security company? When you say security company, are they licensed private
Yeah,
investigators?
yeah. They're
Well, that's what Melinda.
yeah.
And would you share their name?
Yeah, it's John Kingston. He doesn't give out the address. There's things about him that I like about them and respect. And he charged $600 at the time. I believe he's gone up to 900, but still he's
You
nothing.
know what? Can you send me his
Sure.
contact
Sure.
information?
But and you're spelling his last name Kingston, Kingston.
Yeah, kind of like they're Mormons, and yes, people are called Jesus, like Jesus. Yeah, I had to
Sure.
vet them, and it turned out to be real, thank God. And yeah, he's licensed the whole bit shebang, and they act very, very incredibly professional. And
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So let me just make a couple comments that I want the two of you to understand.
Mhm.
I explained this to Bobby earlier.
Okay.
The number one problem that I have always been alerted to is that when a license, first off, I'll backtrack and say, I've been told by California lawyers that I could pass the California bar. And that's because my ex-husband kept me in litigation for 20 years.
Okay.
And I had to pay millions of dollars to lawyers to keep my child.
Wow.
Okay, now moving forward, this
Okay.
is what I learned about the court system
Mm-hmm.
in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Judges only listen to people with licenses, a licensed doctor, a licensed psychologist, a licensed psychiatrist, a licensed PI. Okay, you have to have a license. Now, the next step is that licensed private investigators have been threatened. This is what I was told. I'm not a licensed private investigator, but I was told that the reason more of them don't do it, and the reason it's hard to trust any of them, is because they are threatened that if they help us, they will have their license pulled. And there was a guy who lived in the area that you're in, and he got involved with Derek Robinson. This is going back maybe 7 years ago. And his name was Levi. And Levi helped a guy named Richard Kane win a court case in Santa Barbara, California. And I was ripped off by Richard Kane. I can't say anything nice about him, but that's not part of this conversation. Levi told the world that because he was helping TIs, that his private investigator license was pulled. And I tend to believe him because his story was so horrific. He could no longer work, and he had to relocate to South Dakota. Why South Dakota, he told everyone, is because South Dakota doesn't require licensing for private investigators, but you have to deal with 30 below.
Okay.
All right, so with all that said, I just want you girls to keep that this story in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why it's so hard to find somebody. And if somebody doesn't have their license pulled and they write these reports for us, you have to ask why. I'm not saying, Nina, that they're not legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying it's important that we understand what's taking place so that we know how to vet people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have to know everything. My God, we have to know everything that the criminals are doing. We have to know everything the government's doing. We have to know the laws. We have to really be educated women. And I just wanted to share that part of the story. That's all.
Yeah, he just kind of acted like, they kind of keep themselves sort of out, kind of like in a dumb thing. They don't act like they're really getting into it very, very deeply. I mean, not like super shallow, but they're kind of keep themselves in this kind of middle type of gray zone, and they were kind of acting surprised also, like they don't completely know it also about this or the program. So, and I do know that he automatically, he didn't even ask me, and he was sending it off to Dr. Staninger. So I was glad for that. I was happy. So, and I had no idea. And she won't see you until you get a scan. And she wants to do her lawsuit. And she asked me what I was going to do. And I told her I wanted to know who my patent holders were. I mean, that was at least a primary. It took me out of this crazy zone because they want to call us, schizophrenic, mental, delusional, psychotic, drug addicts and everything else, because especially when it comes to the Morgellons, when it is there, it's right there in the Obama's 2011 Bioethics Commission. It's called Synthetic Biology and the Emerging Technologies. And it's an international consortium. It's all connected to all of this, including what Bobby is doing. So it's all there. But they want to do, the boogeyman syndrome, and you're the bad person and re-victimizing you, and kind of this Mangala type of thing, keeping you trapped.
Oh, I know, they're sickening. They're absolutely sickening.
Mm-hmm.
I look at that. I look at the fact that my stuff is routed to these two major hospitals. And I went to the mental health unit there, and I talked to the psychiatrist there. He wanted to keep me in there. I said, I can send me your testing. My clinical psychologist, who I've been seeing for like 15 years,
Mm-hmm.
she was screaming at him. She thought he was a dickhead. Then he got into a fight with my doctor. They're like, what the hell's wrong with this psychiatrist, Bobby? I said, I don't know. I think he's a wing turret, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he put me through these testings, and, I did it all, blah, blah, did the whole 9 yards, blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
lets me out of there. And I traced all of this, and I called that hospital today. And I said, you are hacking into me, and this is human trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the guy was just an asshole to me on the phone. I played it for Barbara earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and he was just a dick.
Yeah, well, see, that's
Then
like, you're gonna be our human subject, test subject, and we're trying to keep you in place. They kind of expanded, the Mengele, whatever you want to call it, the Auschwitz concentration ghetto, and they've got it into our home. This is 1984 Big Brother, and this is really what it's about. And they get us trapped in our house. But I kind of bring up Kaiser because I have a friend who's Jewish, and she had all these horrific experiments done on her. She could have won big money, but she didn't want to be bought out. But Kaiser is the one they used to, quote, do their fake clinical trial on all of this. And it didn't even meet the normal, regular standards. But this is an international thing. I even have Sweden sitting there trying to give me the guilt trip on this freaking Morgellons when they make their own crap. Marie Palik is Swedish. I don't even know her. I never even came in contact with her. And she's gone public with this stuff. She's in the TI community. And she could get herself tested. But that's why I'm also very into the medical. I mean, you're a lot very into the
You know
medical.
what? I want to get, this is what I wanted to do.
Hmm.
I wanted to get somebody who would do up reports, do a GoFundMe to get one of these experts up here to create an assembly line of scans, right?
Hmm.
Is
Hmm.
it happening to you? Okay, go and see them. Here, it's paid for.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
paid for. You've
Hmm.
been registered TI for like a decade.
Hmm.
You can't get any honesty and integrity for the medical system, and you're
Hmm.
being human trafficked, you know,
Hmm.
regularly, blah, blah.
Hmm.
So the Dr. Staninger contact information and your Utah guy's contact information, if you could send that to me, that
Okay.
would be great.
Okay. She won't
Because
really talk to
I
anybody
want
until you
to
get a
do
body
this for
scan.
my
Just
sister.
an FYI. She would like send me into 90 billion directions, but as soon as I got my body scan, everything was A-okay and it went through. But she's kind of like that. She is targeted. I'll just let you know. Just anybody and anyone and everyone that's hearing, she does get targeted. So, she's not just acting, naturally weird. You're being, you're being weird. You're kind of acting weird. It's because you are literally being targeted. And my perps, my Swedes, don't like her. And when they don't like you, they're very highly involved in those crap. Okay, let me get. I'm trying to get her contact information so I can send it to you.
Yeah, if you could just send it to me on Twitter, that would be greatly appreciated
Okay.
because I will most definitely make contact.
Okay. Okay.
Because if they ask me what my goal is, well, I basically want this stuff out of my body for my family. And
Mm-hmm.
I want this form of human trafficking. It's human trafficking. I don't give a shit when they want to call it
Mm-hmm.
cyber torture. It's human trafficking.
Yeah. It's also it's a
Like
Nuremberg kind.
if this is my ultimate goal. I already have digital evidence, infallible digital evidence. Now, if I get the radio frequency evidence that's admissible in a court of law, and I get the X-rays, i.e., MRIs, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to automatically submit all of that to the UN Torture Rapporteur,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to say, this is all I have. Like next year,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna cash out all of my fucking pensions. Fuck it all.
Mm-hmm.
I'll cash everything out. Cash absolutely everything out. Send it straight to Melsner, and I'll say, this is all I have. If you can help my sister and I,
Mm-hmm.
and my mother, and probably my kid, we are also, the rarest people on the planet, and they're studying us. They picked us out because we have the most back mutations in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's not many of us left. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's like they talk about the aliens, wanting to dissect and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the other thing is that's why I tell people what I said because I'm like going, hey, you guys, you TIs, you just met your scientific perps right in your nose and nobody is saying nothing. It is cold, 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 cold. And nobody wants to get back to that. I'm like going, am I delusional? I mean, what is going on here? There's that. And also I talk about the UNIDIR, which is the disarmament division of the UN. They already did this back in 2001, right after 9/11. You know how conspicuous as that is, how convenient. But these people are the big wig scientists. They already did the research and they called everything that they use on us weapons of mass destruction. And I'm like going, what the F and hell is everybody doing? We don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's right
Yeah.
there. And you know, and I hear all these stories, oh yeah, they're Rothschilds and this and that. I don't really care, because the point is, I'm an American. Americans are known for being the bulls in the china shop, and that we are uncouth, we have a big mouth, and so freaking what? We'll come in, we're gonna crash, and just, hey, look at you assholes, you little fucking scumbags, just getting sick of this shit. Okay, I like, people are going, oh, it's the Jewish thing. Excuse me? The Jewish things were not during the Auschwitz. Okay, the Jewish, whatever, everybody's involved, but they're not like, they stole all the Jewish people's money. They stole the art. That's what Switzerland is all about, and their banks. This is international. This is the international bankers. I have the Swedes. The only thing they give a damn about is this earth, because they want it, and money. Money. They always attack me over food too, but I'm just kind of telling you. For Ernst Frederick Lubing, he's a freaking TI, but his daddy was literally a Nazi, an elite Nazi SS officer who evaded war crimes by faking his death, being smuggled through Denmark, and then went to Sweden, where they harbor World War II Nazi criminals. And I'm going, so where the hell were the Nazi hunters? It was right here in your fucking face. This shit, this dog shit, if they had fucking taken care of it, I wouldn't be having to deal with this today. My fucking FBI Latina agents and their, oh, we're counterterrorism. You had a freaking terrorist, and look at you guys made deals with them. You made deals so they can oppress Russia. That's about what this whole game is about. And they do their
So
trade.
did you find Russia in your scans?
My scans, my body scans.
Yeah.
I haven't done, no, basically I do the American thing, and I know I need to do more digging, and I'm telling you, it's been years since I've been on my computer. They got me out of my computer like they got me out of my car. and I'm inching back into the computer, so to speak. And people think I'm strange nuts, but that's par for the course when you're a TI. I hang out underneath to hide from my perps so I can have some privacy in a copper pyramid shaped TP with RF.
That's a good idea. Copper pyramid tapes. I've had to flee. My sister and I had to flee. My grandma came and basically told my sister we needed to leave. So we left, and oh God, we fled, I guess, about 8 hours away, and we went to one hotel, and I was still getting assaulted.
This is my
Hey,
life. This is my life. I'm out here because I'm trying to. People are going. The TIs. I'm just getting really suspect about, but they can't read my brain as much. That's how extreme it is, and it can be reinforced with even more. But when I go and hide in my little teepee. I'm trying to do my things. That's my weird life. Just to do anything, I have things like paperwork I have to do, money that's owed me. I can't do it in my own house.
I'm going to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
With your copper TP, we should probably do this live, right? Is that okay?
Fine. Okay.
Because we're talking about
shielding,
okay. Right?
What about? Let me go get the little earplugs that Robert sent me. Robert Stanson. I wear it, but it also makes me deaf, and my perps, they play games with me. That's part of the course.
You should try to get this platform. It's like 200 and some odd bucks, and then you can do Zoom, or I can hand you over the Zoom so that you can use from time to time, and then you can change the login to stream and do an open broadcast on yours, because I believe that we should all be utilizing the same stuff.
I don't know how to stream Zoom on
to help each other YouTube. So that the narrative is open, not so controlled and out of whack, where people can actually talk. Like there's a fellow that came on here the other night. He's rather lonely, I mean, that was pretty clear. Oh, what is that?
That's what Robert made.
Earbuds?
Yeah, he makes it out of the glasses, which are the laser glasses. He he's got some kind of trust fund. That's why he's got a little bit of money. No, everyone's always going, oh, he's making all this money. No, he's not making off the shielding. It's separate. I don't know if it's because he got an accident or something. But anyway, he takes these glasses and they're different levels, layers of frequencies, and he kind of cuts it, shaves it, whatever. He shows it on his YouTube, and it sticks it in your ear. And I would only basically recommend wearing it when you're sleeping, because when you're trying to just have a life during the day, my perps are like, oh, you can't hear anything, you miss a call, and they're doing all sorts of weird things. But
do they block out the V2K?
It makes my life a little calmer this is a little tight, so it gets a little more difficult. I have some holes here. It's supposed to be grounded. This broke. But I'm gonna be, when I get I don't know what's going on because life's weird, and today's Friday the 13th. But I'm supposed to go back to Roberts and probably reinforce it with some kind of mu metal and also brass. And so that's going to be more reinforcement. But yeah, you do get a little bit of calmness. You start to calm down a little bit. I would recommend it when you're sleeping. And I am in my copper teepee and try to have things grounded and plugged into the wall.
What do you use for the copper teepee? Did you actually purchase some copper?
Yeah, I used copper pipe, and my uncle made the little joint parts because he was a plumber. He's up in the state of Washington, and he sent it to me, and I just kind of hooked it together. And I don't have it complete north, but I'm into that stuff. I've been into that. I'm into that metaphysical stuff. That's why I'll listen to crystal pyramids. It calms me down. I already know if I went into the pyramids in Giza, I know that I would have absolute
the fact that that reverse polarity and magnetism actually can repel some of the assaults and conceal the signals from in the human body justifies that. I mean, that it's perfectly 100% reasonable that formations of
he's got the new one. He calls it the resurrection. I tried it before because I was up at his house. He's up in the high desert. And he's got stronger magnets on that one. And I was wearing it, and then I started dancing around. And he was kind of in shock. He goes, I should have videotaped it. And he's like, only wear it for 5 minutes because it might be too strong. I was liking it. He calls it the resurrection, but he charges a pretty penny for it. And, and I'm like, if people don't like it, make your own. I don't push. What I push really is I'm pushing shielding. Any shielding. Shield yourself. Shut up. Shield yourself. Because I'm sick of it. Because some of these people are starting to look like bots. And I'm like, questioning it. And, I've been going through this since January of 2009. And every year, the first year, that's when my baby sister died. That's the anniversary. Anniversary, I think, when she got married, the whole problem and everything, people are kind of going, oh, when did it happen? Well, if you're born in the Matrix, I'm born in the United States, CIA crap land, LSD, because they did all of this. This is the Matrix. You're born into it. And then I have events when I'm 8 years old. And I'm looking back now that I'm a full-fledged TI, meaning it's more overt with all this technology. I was 8 years old, and now I know what it is. I'm walking up a street. I'm the oldest of 4. My mom has 4 kids. I'm a single parent. I'm the oldest, and I'm walking with a crowd of people. We're walking up the street in Hollyweird, way before. This is ugly now, really ugly. And we're walking up to Hollywood Boulevard, and I'm like feeling like, why are we being herded like cattle? Literally, I'm 8 years old. And then I'm getting a visual in my mind's eye. Up here on this side, on my right side, I see a man in like a plane cockpit seat, kind of just watching and monitoring us. And I'm getting a kind of a visual like we're going off a cliff, like dying. And I'm like, but we're food. I'm like, why is that? I didn't care about I wasn't even fixating on this stupid visual image that I'm getting about the man. I fixated on, why are we being herded like food? A food source. Why are we being herded like cattle? That's what stuck. And now I'm 8 years old back then, and I'm here 57 going, what the fucking hell? I'm like 8 years old. I act like a 32-year-old. What the fuck is going on? But there's things like that, events that happen that you realize this shit's been going on way longer than I've been alive. And so, hi Barbara, you got back?
I'm sorry. I've just
Okay.
gone through a lot.
Okay.
I don't know what they do. I have to reset the phone. That's what I have to do. I always have to reset the phone. And yeah, I'm in a warehouse. It helps a little bit.
We're live, eh?
Mm-hmm. We're live.
We're live right
We're live
now.
on YouTube.
Because Nina was talking about shielding.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mhm.
so I just changed your name again.
Okay.
Take my video off.
Nobody can see you unless you talk. Let me check.
No.
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't know you were live. That's horrible. I'm so sorry I interrupted.
It's okay.
No, that's okay. That's excellent.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to have some good-looking people. I look like a Mack truck drove over me, backed up a few times, and a dog shit on me.
Well, yeah,
So
I relate
I
to
need
this.
good-looking people on here.
This is normal. That's normal to me. That's my life. I'm like, you know.
So tell me how your helmet's working out. Is
Well,
that what you
it
were
gives a
talking about?
protection. It gives a certain protection level of protection against them reading your mind. You don't understand how extremely important that is. Or at most TIs are going, does it stop the V2K? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, you moron. Have you become an engineer? Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm going on 11 on 12 years. So I kind of get sick of hearing the shit. Okay, and then you can't tell if it's a psyops or a bots or you know what the hell, because they're so good at, you know, mind controlling the masses and people and everything else. But it is doing that, and I have people kind of going, oh, they're not an engineer. I'm like, you better fucking be careful, because if we were engineer, we'd really be hurting your ass. Number one. Number two, if I were an undercover government op of any kind of level, I'm not going to tell you what kind of degrees I have. Number one. And number three, I'm like thinking you need 5 degrees nowadays just to even survive. And you have to be self-taught. So just ixnay the crap. I don't know who the hell you are. And if you're trying to compete with me, I'm just becoming more and more of a bitch. I'm unapologetic. I'm becoming a bitch. I'm tired of the game. People are like, oh, I want my old life back. Look, excuse you, but that world don't exist no more. It don't exist. And you know, and I'm getting more. They kind of talk about discernment. I'm getting more and more critical, and cutting more and more people away from me. You're a TI, but if you're gonna keep the bullshit going, I don't need you. You're unhealthy for me. You're endangering me and my family's life. But I will call you Sex Ray. These are the earbuds. That's cool. It helps, but I would focus on this. I have a pyramid. I'm working on other stuff. Robert Stanson, he's working on titanium. Titanium is extremely expensive. If it's 2 inches thick and like a foot by foot, it can be like $1,000. But he's fixated. He's kind of spiritual, and he's spiritual in nature. And it's interesting what he says. He's cool. He's 12 years younger than me. Okay, and he's a special ops Marine. He's a Marine vet. My late deceased husband was Marine. He was not special ops. His older brother was. He's an ass, low life scumbag. I believe Mason also. And anyway, the point is, he's talking about sandstone. He goes, look back at the biblical times when they're trying to protect themselves. They're going into sandstone caves. So we try it out. We've been to caves. I've been to caves in Calico, and we still got some. But you know, I'm more into the iron, things like that. I will buy some to just test it out. But I kind of like my apartment because it's small, meaning it's more affordable if I want to test things out. You see this laser disco thing. I'm just kind of playing with it. It was kind of on a suggestion from another TI who is a good TI because of the laser pen. Because the laser pen, I don't have it, the battery's not bright right now, but it bothers them. They're electronics, they can't see. So I would need to get something equal to this kind of light in the disco light type of thing. Just like when they were doing in the bombings, they would have the big lights. You would do that, and they can't see. It bugs them. But there's all this other technology I need to check out. It is the ZV. Z is in zebra, V is in Victor, S is in Sam. Drivers, and they're induction heaters. That's what they're called, and they may need to have power supplies and a coolant, but supposedly it makes scalar waves, and supposedly the scalar waves blinds their electronics so they can't see you. So I did buy one for my nephew, and I don't care. I like scalar waves. I'm in love with scalar waves. Okay. I'm in love with Tesla. I'm in love with Giza pyramid, way into that. Crystals, are certain powers about it. And even with the technology, it will heal you and also block. There's keys to it, but crystal's kind of expensive. And there's something about the titanium.
Well, I was just looking at a tourmaline piece. Like I went to
Mm-hmm.
the old Yee rock shop,
Mm-hmm.
and they had a massive, probably a 20, 30 pound crazy big piece of tourmaline.
Mm-hmm.
And it was $4,000. I'm like, what the actual is that, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the black tourmaline, because it found that, it absorbs radiation.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that would be practical, but
Mm-hmm.
who can afford $4,000?
You
I
can-
mean, we're better off to go and look for an outcropping of this shit.
Yeah.
It's got to exist somewhere.
Exactly.
Go pick yourself some damn rocks, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I've been telling people, become a miner, become a smith, a blacksmith, and do your own smelting. And you're gonna have to you just cut out the middleman. Do it yourself. Look for it in your own property, in your dirt. So that's what's going on. You can get some stuff that's really big and kind of affordable. My perps are doing their crowding me again. It's my Swedes, and they act like gargoyles. They don't act like it. I can see it, but eventually I will be showing it. Because I'm learning, I have to accelerate what I'm doing, really accelerate it very, very quickly.
Well, I'm really excited that you got your scans done, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know that I was talking to Luana Reed, and she had gotten scans done, and they were for $1,000, and by another guy that successfully prosecuted Berkeley for $1,000.
Berkeley
was his scan, but he had settled for $8 million. For nano, I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting sick. I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
it's been too much driving,
Mm-hmm.
to get away from the shit.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he settled out. They settled out an $8 million settlement for nano. He had the patents, so Berkeley did the patents according to Luana. Luana shared the patents, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's been suffering. So what these things look like is one is an antenna coming straight out, and then one next to it is another little antenna that's crooked.
Mm-hmm.
And getting pictures of these things, because they're so small, you can't see them with the naked eye.
Mm-hmm.
One sends out communication, one receives communication. The bent one receives, and the long one sends out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
well, that's what Dr. Staninger calls it. It's BAN, BAN, for body area network. And that's what my body's sending out, these frequencies. They're not normal. It's not natural. It's not body frequencies. It's their technology, and it's connected straight to their FCC. And they are, like I had to, when we had that other lady, Karen, I said, you have your microchip. I said, you need to start thinking. It's kind of interesting because of my nanotech. I'm saying, look at your microchip is sending back information. You need to start looking into that.
It goes back. It's constant, it's constant. You can record them using Wireshark. And while you record Wireshark, you can save the packet because it's a legal living document. So let's say you record your Wireshark for 6 months to a year. You're recording your RFID that's been illegally placed into your body, including other devices that they've taken patents out on that were illegally placed into your body. I've found all kinds of stuff on my network, right? So now what I have to do is I have to accomplish the scans. I mean, I need to accomplish the radio frequency scans because I want to see who the owner is of the RFID that's in my body, since I know that they all have to be registered. And then once I track the owners down, I'm just, I'll take it from there. But once I have these other parts, I'm just going to submit straight to Niles at this Glasgow University.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a lot going on. And I just keep noticing, especially here in America, it just keeps ratcheting up very, very quickly. And this thing with Trump, somehow, on some level, he's complicit. He does do things for us, but somehow he's complicit. And I'm just getting sick of this game because it's one big mirage. It is a big mirage. It's meant to just totally just be this, let's confuse everybody, waste everyone's time, and get everybody, the psychodrama, psyops, and just draw it out. We don't have access to our own president, like I've been telling everybody. Your own services, you don't have any more services. Your government shut down. I mean, they're gonna your food supply, like I've been telling and screaming at people since July of 2014. No one wants to listen to me. And I'm having people coming back to me going, "Oh, you're taking chemistry classes," and I'm a, "Why is that any of your business, and why do you care?" I have a reason for it, a big reason. I want to be testing my food because they keep contaminating it.
Oh,
Okay.
it's bad.
Hmm.
The Kodak Alimentarius is coming into play. They're stripping out all of the nutrients from food.
Hmm.
And so what they want to do is they strip out everything so you're eating cardboard to stay alive. And
Uh-huh.
your body is starving and
Hmm.
craving basic nutrients.
Hmm. Oh yeah, you're malnourished.
And that's why so many of us are getting chubby, right?
Oh
So
yeah, I
my
know for a
sister,
fact.
my
I will.
sister's a public health nurse, right?
Hmm.
So
I'm
I
living
mean,
proof.
but this is happening to us
Hmm.
both.
Hmm. Hmm.
And we've gained a tremendous amount of weight, which is just not normal.
No, it's
And we
not
just
it's not from
cannot.
calories. It's the quality of food. It sucks. I'm literally eating food. It burns my eyes, my nasal, my mouth, my tongue and my here in my throat and in my chest. That's from eating some of this food. And it's supposed to be from the good places where they're supposed to be organic. So they're messing with it big time, and I know it. And I want to track their little asses down, and I want to start suing them because I need to know for myself. And some people say some really incredibly, extremely ridiculous things to me. Why don't you spend the money for, somebody to diagnose it? Yeah, it was $500 a pop. That no, why don't I study it, get my own because I need to protect myself, and then when I get to a certain place, I sue. But I have to be careful because I got some American quote unquote supposed TIs that are piggyback writing off of me, and they're like knowing that I'm doing lawsuits so they can take it and make money. And I'm just like, I have to be careful because in more ways than one, because it's exhausting, and these people don't give a shit. They're not here for us. They're here to fuck us over. I'm getting sick. I'm getting angry. I don't mean physically sick. I mean that's one thing. And I told you what's going on with my mom, and I'm upset because I'm 1,000 miles away, and I can't sit there and watch her and defend her and go after these people because the medical industry. I fucking know who these little pieces of shits are. I know who the fuck they are. They're telling my mom she's almost 80 years old. Oh, you were born without a kidney. Yeah. I'm really, really pissed. Really pissed. And yeah, so I want to get my mom out of there and so that she's under my realm, so to speak, so I can sit there and watch and monitor. I have a military building right behind me, and they've been doing parking these cars with these headlights to give me their threatening warning. And I'm the type when I get the evidence, I go after you. When I get the evidence and proof. And that's why I want to basically, like Ernst Frederick Lubing, find his daddy's records and make it public. It embarrasses them. That kind of reality, people can't handle it. I go, this is a real Nazi SS officer. What the fucking goddamn hell are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? If he was taken care of and you guys, and with the Nazi hunt, sometimes I kind of mess up with my wordings. I have to be careful. He SS officer, and you have these Nazi hunters, and they didn't do anything. If something was actually done, this was in Sweden. It's not like it wasn't hard to find them. They gave them citizenship. And if they had taken care of it, I wouldn't have to deal with Ernst Frederick Lubing, his little groupies who are literally from the Nobel Prize winners, aristocracy, monarchy, medical doctor professionals, people that are connected to Russia, the whole space program, NATO, the whole shebang. And instead, they're just doing their wheeling dealing like they always do. And but if you make it public and you got the documents, and that's why my perps freak out on me, because I'm like right on it, but I have to do it really, really quickly. They make sure to oppress me. I can't use my computer and stuff and grab this, because to them and their little lives, it's very, very important. And that's how I push my stuff, you know. And
Well, all we can do is try. But I mean, the key to this is the scans, right?
that's part.
Shielding,
That's
like
big.
number one,
It is
shielding
big.
scans,
It takes you out of the mental illness
investigation
category, you know.
network.
Oh, you're mentally ill, you know, gaslighting you. And you gaslight me one more time. You know. No, I want to, that's why I like the idea. I want to know where the tech is around me. I want to know a lot of things, because it takes the power away from them and it puts the evidence in this other area. And it's not so much I have to prove so much about me. I need to prove what's going on. This is military. This is military tactics. This is genocide. This is genocide. This is Mangala. You know, the whole thing, shebang, nothing has ever stopped. They just changed the name, just like the Kardashians. They rebranded it. They changed the name, and, you know, here you are in your fake dilemma and delusion. Are you still there? Or did I lose you?
Oh yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
Eden Living TV. She's popped on. She's had some success, and I'd like to add her to some of the digs and discussions. Right. I sent her the login link.
Yeah, because I've
I
been
just
thinking.
don't feel like dealing with any. I don't feel like dealing with. Oh, look at this! My sister got me some socks.
Good.
She went to the store. I rented a hotel room.
It's expensive doing the motel
Because
rooms. It's very expensive. The other thing is they've been messing up when you do online stuff, online purchasing, like with Walmart, and this Shadowgate and ShadowNet is very real. I was trying to get a heater for my mother, and they literally took the whole amount for the money, because I bought her a few items, and all they did was send her 2 of the boxes of tea and this little chocolate candy bar, and canceled the heater, which was the main part, and the socks, but charged me the whole amount and didn't tell me squat. Walmart is so part of this FEMA camp crap. People need to be careful. This has happened to me at least 3 times. They've been trying to interfere and get in the way of my mother, and me helping my mother and helping to protect my mother. It's not funny. It's off the hook. And these people, like you were saying about Bezos, Amazon, yeah, they're totally, absolutely. That's why I'm very sarcastic about the what I call fulfillment centers.
well, like the conversation we were having about Miss Farmer that did the painting, and she's been put under a gag order. In the regards to the Jeffrey Epstein case. He's definitely involved. Like I started tracing some of the businesses and doing NSL lookups and some network testing to see if I was connecting to them. And sure as God made apples, I was connecting to dormant, apparent businesses that Jeffrey Epstein owned.
Oh,
Now,
really?
found, and I got a new pair of pajamas. My sister's great. Isn't hotel living a nightmare? This is our second hotel room. We were getting blasted with direct energy weapons at the last one. So we came over to this one, only been, I guess assaulted a couple of times. It isn't super brutal. It's tolerable. It's way better than home right now. But Eden's TV has popped in here. I haven't talked to her before. And I'm gonna put her into the spotlight so we can hear from. I made you a co-host, Eden, because we've had some problems with some people that have popped in here, right? They've showed their bits, their junk. Right?
Oh no!
Yeah, trauma.
Yeah, it was pretty gross. But if that's their shtick and that's their intellectual prowess to try to debunk scientific fact and network fact, let them. It just shows their actual abilities, which are very tiny. And as nutty as that sounds, it's the truth.
Well, you have put me on a whole new rabbit hole discovering Wiggle Wi-Fi. I am surrounded by perks. I have called North Korea. I have called medical laboratories. My Air Force neighbor seems to be letting people use his guest Wi-Fi access. And if they're on the Wiggle Wi-Fi, they're in my network, correct?
Oh, that's right. I'll take you through that really quick. I was trying to teach this earlier.
I
Let me.
called T-Mobile and I wanted to know why they're allowing North Korea to radiate me with 1,000 networks going into my house.
Well,
I
they're not going
called
to answer
twice.
you. They're all part of it. They're all absolutely, completely in bed.
Well, North Korea,
Mhm.
you got to think about this as a global
Yeah.
takedown. The globalists want, they want absolute power and control, right?
Is that why Addis? You know what scares me is my grandfather was one of the engineers that put up the telephone company, and my brother was responsible for the whole southeast of the United States when it went down. His team, so he was with Ma Bell, and I'm thinking, has this been my whole life? Am I? It's rattled me to a point when you, especially when I saw that they put me on some kind of global network and it's out of Aruba. I cried for 2 days. I'm not lying. I cried.
I know.
Sorry, I'm not
I
doing
cried.
something weird on purpose.
I know what, you know what, I've been calling, I have empirical evidence of my medical clinics and medical clinics. I've traced their networks. I've found them coming through my network. I've traced their hospital facilities of who they're communicating with, and they're getting paid by Linode. Now I'm in Canada, okay? So military contractors are directly connected to our hospitals, our clinics, and also Linode. And Linode payments are going in and out of medical clinics and hospitals. Now we pay these medical clinics with our tax dollars. So if they're into human trafficking
Which they
or
are.
research and development,
They
or
are.
research and development grants, it's time to end all Canadian government funded medical.
Right.
Because obviously they're self-sustaining entities where they're getting paid by external sources through non-consenting programs and projects. So if they want to do that, you can't put it's called double dipping.
Yeah.
Right?
Double,
It's called double dipping. You can go screw yourself.
Really?
Like I have the Canadian, another thing you need to look for in your network is investor core services and investor core fairness. Great West Life and Investors Group, workers' compensation boards. These are all people involved in this. All linking to sustainable development programs locally.
Yes, that's UN.
Oh,
that's UN
that's
crap.
good. That's good.
UN crap.
That's
It's great.
extremely important.
Like you need to look for multiple methods of evidence gathering. Do print screens, publish it on Twitter, right? And then after you do that, print it off when you're ready to do your thing. Make sure you take videos.
I sat there and last night I just got certified as an EMS specialist to try to locate where all the dirty electricity and radiation. And
I'll teach you much.
Good.
I'll teach you much.
Good.
I'm open. Teach. But today my meters went. I saw them do something. And I've been having weird issues with my water. I swear they've done something to my water. So they came. My pressure's been weird. They came and dug, and I went out with my meters. I sat here and watched radio frequency and EMS bombard me. Went over where they were digging, and it went from like 287 hertz. I'm like, why the hell is a water main sitting here with radio frequency and EMS radiating me? So they put something in my damn water pipes.
Yep. Okay, I'm going to show you what I have recorded in the network with Wiggle Wi-Fi. Now you can record similar and awesome evidence with this. I'm just going to share this screen with you now. So this is Wiggle-Fi. I never discovered Wiggle-Fi. This was shared by ZPub. she was playing with this application,
Mhm.
and Learning Lad, who's another TI in our digs group, he's never come on here. He's kind of shy. He's from India. He's been very busy teaching other targeted individuals in India how to track this. He's a fantastic person. He's very kind. He's a sweetheart, and he's very humble on his channel. Very wonderful.
I've got to get my ANS name. What is it? ANS.
Oh, ASN.
Yeah, I've just gotten the wiggle down. I've been trying, and I've been able to block some of these.
You know what you need? You need to chase your network. You need to chase your network, and you need to do your ASN with Wireshark. And you need to record. You need to record several aspects, but stick to the easy stuff, right? So this is the easy stuff. In this screen here, this is a CSV file. Let's say you walked around your property and you've been recording all these aspects of these assholes in your environment, right? You know, you're getting body shots, you're feeling sick, you know, your electromagnetic reader is going sky high stupid.
I was in bed all day because I felt like I couldn't breathe. They were hitting my kidneys. They hit my gut to make me shit my brains out. I'm over these people.
Well, what they do is they set up microwave weapon systems and dirty energy machines in a neighbor's yard, or because your hydro companies are usually involved. Yeah, for me. I guess it's Hydro Limited. I found in the ASN.
What's the deal with the, like, my neighbors all of a sudden started spotting me with weird bright skylights. They're not normal. They're 10 times brighter than any spotlight I've ever seen. It's all three sides.
It's probably some type of spectrum frequency. Basically, these are asshole serial killers. Make no mistake about it. They're all in this little oligarch gang, and they want us all dead. They want us dead. Why? I don't know. They're assholes. Mm-hmm. They've been experimenting on us for multiple decades, and now they're just done with us. So I'm going to bring your attention back to this Wiggle-Fi. So in Wiggle-Fi, you have all kinds of options in here. So I'm going to try to unhide the, let's see, I'll try to unhide these. So you're going to hide them all.
That's different than when it comes on my phone. I usually look at my Wiggle on my phone. When I'm out traveling, I can always find my gang stalkers because their hotspots pop up. I'm like, oh, you're blocked.
Well, what this does is if this is your evidence, you'd walk into a courtroom with, right?
Right.
So in here, it tells you the MAC system, like the MAC, the name of the system that they're using. Like you can name your router, and then there's this one. It gives you the MAC addresses. And this tells you the operator. It gives you all kinds of different information. And it tells you the frequencies that they're using. That's the band. So if someone tells you, oh, you can't read radio frequencies. Your cell phone is a dynamic radio communication tool. It is designed to communicate on exact radio frequencies and pick up exact radio frequencies. So that's how you can record your radio frequencies. It's no longer a mystery. I mean, it's just ridiculous when everyone says, oh, we can't find we can't find the radio frequency. Ooh. So here's the device. It tells you its capabilities within the device, like privacy, access, whether it has multi-functions like phased array, millimeter wave capabilities, multi-functions. I think I had one device that could phase and laze me in 84 different ways. That was
my gosh.
It was the network. So before we fled the city house, there was 8,000 Wi-Fi flowing through my 700 square foot home.
You're lucky you don't have cancer.
I've had 2 neighbors die.
Well, yeah, they're getting radiated. Do y'all think it's something in our blood or DNA? Because I'm Cherokee. I think they're trying to either activate or just outright kill us.
Well, I'm getting to that. I'm going to show you some things that I found.
Okay.
So I'm gonna hide the capabilities. This is just some stuff I'm taking you through. Okay. I took my little group through this earlier. And I'm gonna hide the created list. Just gonna hide that. Now what we're left with is the address, what they named it, the MAC address, and the latitude and longitude, and what I've named it as I've researched the latitude and longitudes in each one of these locations, right?
Mhm.
So, so I'm gonna take you down to the simplest thing. Instead of you have to go through each one. You got to chase these latitude and longitudes, but start at your router. Make it easy. So this is my mother's router. It's MTS 374. So I trace them all. So what they do is they hack out the advertising nodes inside of the router, and then they'll do projections. So they'll do a projection to a transmitter, and the transmitter will be taking data and direct energy weapon stuff. Oh, thank you. Honey, if you want some. I'm all right, thank you. It's my sister.
Mhm.
So they'll take the data and the signal, and the signal will be redirected flowing into your home. And they can hack out all of the routers in your community and redirect them at you with these advertising nodes.
Damn.
So this is it's a weapon system using your internet service provider, using transmitters and dirty energy machines placed into your environment. The gang stalkers are using Wi-Fi boosters that you can in fact record using two applications. You can record the Wi-Fi boosters using oh God, NetMonster and NetMonitor. So you can record the military IMSI network on NetMonitor, which will show you the pins and locations of them. It will also record the cellular NIC and ID of the cell phone that's gang stalking you. Okay, tell you where they're coming from, where they're broadcasting from. It can also record networks. So you can use it as a drag system, like you're driving around your community, and you can pick up all of the Wi-Fi in your network, in your community, down the street, down the road, 10 miles away, 100 miles away, wherever you go. It will drag it and collect it in a repository. And this is important for tracing. The perps will not always link this way. They will set up stuff on your yard, and they will link. They will try to outsmart us, but I mean, we're too smart now. So you'll have to continuously leave this on, drive loops around, and upload your databases. Very important. Up on WiggleFi, upload the databases to WiggleFi, because eventually we'll be able to access all the entire database. If you're looking for a particular address, MAC address, location, GPS coordinate, it will all be housed in there. There'll be no hiding from anything.
Mhm.
So as much as they want to do this, we can't track them. We can prove gang stalking through two applications: NetMonster and NetMonitor prove gang stalking. NetMonster will keep a running tab of how many times they drive by your home. I think the most I recorded them circling my house in one day was over 204 times.
Yeah, that's every 5 minutes with me. It drives me crazy.
So they're using Wi-Fi boosters. Now, this is another aspect of this. They will drive ahead. If you are in a bus route, they will drive ahead of the city bus, and they will use a Wi-Fi booster to boost the drag of the electromagnetic radiation coming off the bus, because the bus has Wi-Fi boosters in itself. So what that does is, if they're using Nordic semiconductors and with laser diodes, is that will boost the radiation you're being exposed to. That's why I had two neighbors die. The night my neighbor actually physically dropped dead, and I sent this to the International Criminal Court. I got blast. It was the first time I had recorded a blast of electromagnetic radiation on specific bands right into my house, into my body where I was sitting. And I was so happy. I mean, I wasn't happy I was getting shot, but I was just happy that I
You
could
talk-
understand and make the connection, and understand the system. I just needed to find the proper articulation for it. So
Is that why they park cars around my freaking house? Like my
yes,
little.
they're using Wi-Fi boosters, and they're accessing the semiconductors, transmitters, and nodes, and a SARNA device to destroy you.
I want to find that. I want to find that car. Yeah, I want affidavits.
You what?
I want to serve them affidavits. Every one of my neighbors.
That's something that I work on. It takes a very long time to collect factual data. You need to be able to point out exactly the location of the person, prove that they're on your property illegally, whether it be hacking, tracking, whatever. And these are the applications that you need to do. Being a targeted individual and proving this in multiple ways is no easy singular task. There's several components to this, right? It's a whole wide area of disciplines of science that they're using. They're using medicine, they're using radio communication technologies, they're they're using electronics. It's really you need a multidisciplinary team. They're using network switches. They're using pretty much everything. So you need to have people in many specialty fields with one sinister psychofuck at the top of all this orchestrating it, right? So as you peel it back, we can peel it back with applications, network recording with packet sniffers, which is you can use Snort. You can use the easy one to use, and that they're both free, is with our Wireshark. Sorry, I'm a little bit tired. So Wireshark is really easy to use, but I'm going to move on to this because I've been delaying. I'm just running off at the mouth now. So I'm going to expand this out a little bit in here. Now, this is my mother's network. You'll notice that there's these MAC addresses. They're all the same, right?
Time out for a second. I have a question.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Your UN group has what's without divulging too much. I want to know if Nils Mesler is getting back to you. Is he communicating?
You know what? If people would show up for their frickin' meetings, that's all I'm going to say. There's people that have been showing up. I was supposed to meet 3 scientists this week. I'm supposed to be teaching one how to do some of this stuff next week. And I was supposed to be doing, teaching 3 of them, working with 3 of them, teaching them how to do some of these aspects, right? The one that I'm talking to, he's pretty nice. He's pretty down to earth. This is just
suspect.
We're back. People aren't showing up for meetings. And it's making me go, what is going on here?
But, do they have really that much of effect on Nils Mesler?
Pardon me?
Do they really have that much of an effect on Nils Mesler?
I wish I could tell you. I honestly don't know. All I ever claim to do is dig data, because I want this to end for me, and I share my information with people, and I want them to collect factual information, because this needs to end. This is not going to stop with us, even if we die.
Exactly.
Okay? This is going to affect your children. This is going to affect your cousins, your nieces, your nephews, all future generations, unless this is dealt with now.
Exactly. I've said that to people. So, some of these TIs are going, I want money.
People are going to be stupid enough to say, oh, give me some Wi-Fi. I don't care what's happening with you. Oh, you're crazy. Who cares about that electromagnetic radiation? It's just in Canada alone, there's over 6,000 papers on the harmful effects of electromagnetic radiation. The legal law in Canada for worker exposure for electromagnetic radiation is Safety Code 26. It's 150 millivolts of exposure.
Mm-hmm.
And the World Health Organization recommends only a maximum exposure of 100 millivolts. A targeted individual goes through between 200,000 to 2 million millivolt pulses every couple of seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
My feet, I can't even feel my feet anymore, y'all. It's bad. Like, it's bad.
Not good. That's
So-
not good. They're trying to imitate diabetes and
Yeah, they're
neuropathy.
going after your spine. My sister's got wearing of her spine. I have non-consenting RFID. I get shot in the breast.
Mm-hmm.
So I get shot in the breast in different parts of my body, in my skull.
Mm-hmm.
I have to
Arm,
wear a
legs.
hat. I wear an EMF hat when I'm in the house, no matter what. Like,
Mhm.
I have something on me.
Well, I did make a suggestion, and I think that somebody needs to build this. It's a reverse polarity ball. I had asked I had support from the coalition
Mhm.
and funding. Like they're like, okay, we'll build your device. We think it's gonna. If you think it's gonna work, and it might work, let's try, right?
Mhm.
So before I go off onto that, I'm going to show you guys this,
Mhm.
and then I'm going to tell you about the reverse polarity ball that somebody needs to try to build. Okay.
A ball?
Because I believe
Yeah.
it's a ball.
Okay.
Right?
Hey,
It's a
Just
where'd
trying
ball.
to
you get your light that she's doing? Are you doing that for the drones not to be able to lock on you? Where'd you get your cool lights?
Oh, this is a disco
Oh, yeah.
thing, but I have actual lasers, and I'm friends with Robert Stanson. I don't know if you know him here in California. He's a special ops Marine vet. He's 45 years old, 12 years younger than me. Anyway, he's the one that showed me the drones, and it really does kind of work, and I'm doing it because it blinds them. But I'm going to be working on this and making it. I want it to be more like my laser pen. The battery's kind of dead right now.
Yeah, I need to get one of those suckers because, like, they fry me from above.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of like what we're talking about, like getting the black paint, having it grounded, put lead in it, because Bobby is talking about how they fake about the lead because they don't want us protected, just like the mirrors. Because if I have a mirror
Right.
when it's lead black backing, they can't stand it. It freaks them out. They
I
can't
bet.
get through. And I do have some lead sheeting, and I need to take my mirror and I wanted to put some other stuff so I can make it like a canopy. This is kind of what it's
Yeah.
doing. I also have a copper pyramid that I kind of lay under, and I'm thinking about getting it. It's just copper pipe. And my uncle, he has welding and just kind of the joints. He put it together and welded it together so that you can have your little copper, things, stay together. But you also have to make sure that it's on the magnetic north, that you can.
Right.
And also I use the RF cloth. That's what I sleep under. And I usually go and hide there. I don't get the normal luxury of being able to actually be at a computer anymore. This is a big deal for me. I haven't been on my computer in years, and it's brand new. And
Wow.
they got me out of my car. They got me out of my computer, and I have to. Usually, I'm relegated to being hiding underneath my little copper thing in a bed. I can't stand it. I hate laying all the time. It drives me up the wall. And I
Yeah.
can't do any of my own paperwork. And especially if it has anything to do with money, and they freak out. They freak out and they
Yeah,
tell.
they don't want us to make money. That's for damn sure.
And by the way, I have indigenous Indian in me from both sides of my family. Just to let you know, but I'm not RH negative blood.
Yeah, I'm not RH negative either, but I'm Cherokee on my daddy's side and Royal Dutch on the other. So I'm pure on both sides.
Okay. One of these days, I'm going to sit there and show my ancestry.com and go, what does this all mean?
Okay, ladies, I'm going to pull you back to share this screen share on here so I can get through this with showing you. You need to mail in Wiggle-Fi. There's an option to save your CSV. So save your CSV, export it, and email it to yourself every few days. This is fact-based evidence. So look for your router network, right?
Okay.
So we're going to trace the router network. So here's the router. You're just going to go all
I
the way
just
down.
want to let you know, I
this
use
is
my cell phone. I don't have internet for my computer. I use my hotspot off of my cell phone to have internet
Yeah, I
connection.
do too. Yeah, I do too.
And
Well, this is still it's still going to work for you.
okay.
You're still going to be able to trace factual based data
Okay.
within your cell phone,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
It will, all roads lead to someone.
Mm-hmm.
And this records locations in your yard and in your environment
Right.
of where they are
My neighbors and my
you-
military building.
advertising nodes and transmitters.
Mhm.
So I'll just take you on a little journey. Let's go to, just the basic range for my mother's here.
Mhm.
So I'm going to take this address, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to populate it into a Google search engine. So I'm going to do a new share.
Mhm.
If I can find where this is. So here's a new share. And I'm going to dump it into the top here. And I'm going to take out this little stop,
Someone's very
this little
close.
bit. And I'm going to put a comma between these two. And I'm going to hit the enter button. This takes you to a location. So you're going to hit maps.
I'm on a live YouTube.
So in maps, you're going to find that this gives you
I'm on
location by
YouTube.
where you are. So you're going to record the
I'm on
information,
YouTube.
check it out, say, okay, you know
Can you
where
hear
you
me?
are. Hit the satellite map.
Okay. I can't hear you. I have my helmet on.
The satellite map will populate, and we're going to zoom in. We know that this is
Okay.
inside
Okay.
my
Okay, I'll do it.
mother's
Okay.
router.
Okay, I'll send it to you right now.
It's
Okay, thanks.
the
Bye.
hack.
And this is NetMonster. You're using NetMonster to do this?
No, this one is Wiggle
Oh,
5.
okay.
This is what happens
Okay.
when you open up, when you email yourself the CSV file,
CSV.
and you go to
okay.
open
CSV.
CSV file.
Okay.
It's convertible to an Excel spreadsheet. I'm working within an Excel spreadsheet to collect this data, which is fact-based.
Okay.
So right here, this house, this gray one is my mother's house. And this projection right here is into the trees. So I know that something's been placed here for redirection.
Oh, wow.
So it should not be there. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to start a new share. I'm going to go back to this database. Now you can trace out all of these locations, and you need to trace them all out as long as you've recorded your environment. Trace out all of these locations. Trace them all out. See how they connect. Now, what you'll find eventually is you'll find a new address completely. This is my mother's Wi-Fi, don't forget. This is the same MAC address.
Mm-hmm.
This is in her network. But
Yeah.
it takes me to someone else's house. That means they're physically inside of my mother's network. This is hacking.
Uh-huh.
This
Yep.
is one.
Uh-huh.
This is a gold standard of hacking,
Yeah.
right?
You could sue them individually. You can make their day.
So I'm gonna share with you a new screen.
Mhm.
And we're gonna do a search. So don't forget, this is pretty much the coordinates of where my mother lives.
Mhm.
Just give you a perspective. I'm gonna zoom out.
Mhm.
So this is her house. She's here.
Looks like you
I'm
have
gonna
two
populate
houses.
this one here. You can apply this for yourself into your own scenario. And this brings me through to a completely different area,
Mm-hmm.
several miles away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Have you ever talked to
So now-
Michael was it Michael Braden? He's was Air Force. He needs to get on this.
He's never popped on here. I don't know if he follows any of my stuff. I mean, I have been encouraging people to, you can take my stuff, replicate it, duplicate it, make it work for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
publish it on YouTube, create a channel, create a BitChute, create a True News tube. This is
you can actually make
fact-based.
money. I think it's off of Rumble. I made $5. I don't even know how. I'm like, I don't know what I did. And I'm like, okay, I'll keep doing it.
I don't make money from this. What I get from this
It's
is
like spare change.
I'm
It helps
hoping
to support.
to end this for my family and myself before they murder us.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's possible, but I'm trying.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard it's until death. I've heard once they put you on this list, and if I ever find who puts me on this list, they're not going to ever walk the same. I promise you that.
I already know who
You've
did.
been on this list. You've been on this list since you were a child.
You really think so?
I've been.
Really?
I found in the ASN references to locations I went where I grew up, and this has been going on since 1983, pre-internet that we know today.
I
Wow.
have visual images when I was 8 years old. I'm 57 now. That's almost 50 years ago. So, what year was that?
So we are the continuation, I believe, of the MK Ultra project.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Well, my daddy was Navy, so that makes a whole lot of damn sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm just going to continue through so I can show you guys this. You can see this screen right now where it says Schreier Crescent. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So
That
this
place,
is
yeah.
where that pin is at this person's exact house. I now have an address here in Google of this person's address.
It
I'll
would
give
take
you-
anything that I have not to walk up and knock on their door and go, why the hell are you doing this?
Well, you're
You
you're
know
gonna
what?
you're gonna want to do
You
more than that
can't do
because
that. What you've got to do is you've got to fight them legally.
Mhm.
You've got this evidence. Now you know they've hacked you. You can actually register loans or liens and encumbrances upon them. Do a statement of claim. Do it.
I
mean,
want to, yeah,
this
I
is
want
targeting.
to sue them, every stinking one of them. I want their houses. I want their assets. I want them
I
in
want
jail.
I want it to. You know what? Let's do it step by step. Let's just. I know. Let's just have our lives without pain. That's the start, right?
right.
3 years of my life they've stolen. They have had me on a loop, like a loop.
So
Y'all
to
get
give you an idea, these people are across the river here, and this is my mother's house over here. Okay, this is how far these assholes could actually be. So you got to drive around pretty far around your area because these assholes will be around you. So this is pretty much where my mother's house is, right over
Do the
here.
trees help at all? Like the prana from the trees, nature, help with the protection
I
from
heard that it helps to discourage the
Trees help.
microwaves.
Mhm.
Trees help. I'll tell you, we went to Duck Mountain here locally. We have two little mountain regions here in Manitoba.
Mhm.
We went to Duck Mountain looking for houses, and I had relief there. My sister was following behind us in her vehicle, and we both experienced relief from targeting when we were in Duck Mountain. So I don't know why that happened.
My ears ring. I know when I'm getting hit, I get nauseous and my ears ring and freaking pressure in my head is off the hook.
I know, I'm sorry. It's terrible. You need to trace out all those addresses and you need
Okay.
to track them down. But you need to make sure they are connecting to a device on your yard. So you must
Okay.
match the MAC addresses or they have them inside your router.
I don't have anything but my cell phone and a hotspot in my house. No cable, nothing. I'm too sensitive. I'm an empath. I'm an energy yielder. I burn
Mhm.
shit up when I get pissed.
They're not gonna like you.
Uh-uh.
Oh no, they don't like people that have a strong connection to God or anything like that. Healing capacities, anything, psychic,
I'm a
otherwise.
deliverance minister too, so take that on top of it.
Yeah, they did that to my pastor. They actually fired her from the church, Seventh Day Adventist. I'm not
Wow.
happy about it, but they might have done her a service in a weird way, because
Yeah.
the church is just about business, and they got rid of her. They got rid of her.
Church is one of the biggest human traffickers there are. I'm on a task force trying to save kids. I thought that's what got me on this list, but I guess I was born into this. That's kind of hard to swallow. I think my brother's my handler. I swear he tries to control me.
Yeah, I have Olga Limpkin in Hilo, Hawaii. She's gonna swear that these people are cloned. She will swear by it. She will swear by it. They tried to kill her. She said they flatlined her. They were in the hospital. They were taking all her blood. She's Rh negative. She had like 6 kids. She's
Oh,
Filipina
hell.
and half Spaniard. The Basques are known in Spain for being
Yeah.
Rh negative. Why? I don't know. Seems to me I know 2 Filipinas. For some reason, they're Rh negative. And I just, And there's also a really bad vibe I get from all this, and I don't have a way of explaining it, but I'm
I
not
can
gonna really.
always tell my game stalkers they're soulless and they can't look at you and they don't go off script. You try to talk to these people, they don't know what to say to you.
Yeah, it is true. I have different levels. I will actually have government, and the government will give me weird looks. Sometimes they're sad that I'm kind of exposing it. They kind of consider me like a
Yeah,
little snitch, or I'll tell another TI
yeah.
because I'm telling them, like the other TI, when I'm coming in physical contact, they've become like friends. I go, that's not your gang stalker. I separate it. Gang stalkers are civilians, and then to me, perps are government. Those are government
Right.
employees, and they don't like it when I out them. And I'm like, excuse me, I'm just not down for all this stuff. I wasn't wired this way. This
Right.
military genocide Nazi crap that never ended. All it did was expand. So I'm not happy. I'm not a happy camper. I mean, I don't come in here to incarnate into this bullshit, this crap, so that they can try and
Yep.
freaking steal my soul or I have my baby sister. She committed suicide because of this shit.
Um,
And then,
um,
and she had CIA because it's international. She should have had a charmed life. She was beautiful, gorgeous on the outside. She had a different daddy, blonde hair, taller than me. She should have had a charmed life. She was the opposite. She was the most miserable person I've ever known. Miserable and unhappy. And she killed herself. She thought she was going to get out. And I having to deal with my stuff because it was coroner's department connected to the sheriff's department.
oh,
Okay,
wow.
and I have my psychic abilities, and the sheriffs are freaking out on me. It's not my. I'm given. I see dead people. That God give me that because it's a responsibility. It's like a job.
Mm,
Okay, and if I see them and they talk to me and they communicate, they're afraid that they're going to tell on them. Well, they did in more
yeah.
ways than one. But I'm like going, I didn't know this crap was here. But that's like God speaking to me, and the spirits knew.
Well, your ancestors, if you're Indian, your
Yep,
ancestors are trying to show you the blood's crying out for us to right what they've done to them.
yep. They were trying to get me to do an intervention. Yep. I know. I know it sounds crazy, but what else am I gonna
No,
say?
no, they were asking for your help.
Oh yeah, they were screaming for it. I seen them.
Yeah.
They were torture. It was torture. They were screaming torture. And I'll
Our
tell you even
ancestors
weirder
were
stuff.
tortured.
The guy who's my original handler, he's Canadian. His family are doctors. His family is dead. Were coming to me, of all people, in a lab coat. It's like his daddy. I'm like going. I'm like, I've never been through anything like that. I see my ancestor like the medicine men, but I've never been in through anything like this. But when I get around morgues or, mortuaries or hospitals or even, mental institution where a lot of people have died, a lot of suffering, things like that, I will pick them up big time.
I think you were a shaman in another life, hon.
Yeah, I feel like it's part of my job.
You were a shaman.
Yeah. And
Or
I
you
was supposed
still
to,
are a shaman. Your memory's been taken from you. You just don't know.
yeah, I feel I was supposed to do something, a rite of passage at a young age, and I didn't do it. I didn't go through it.
You need to.
Mhm. Yeah, no kidding. Really, yeah, I totally agree with you. Totally, because they show me when I go through states like New Mexico, I see them. They show me.
Yeah.
It's like, hi, here's family, and then like here.
Portals are open. The veil is very thin right now. Portals are being open, and we have the ability to see these interdimensional things, and other people can't read energy like us because we're being radiated like hell every day. I
Yeah,
mean, come on.
yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking about that. And that's what Robert Stanson's talking about because on December 21st, on the solstice, winter solstice, he wants to find one of those. He's my little friend. He's 12 years younger. Under the Chinese sign, he's the same sign. So
Right.
I find him cute personality wise. And I like that. I like when you have your own spirituality. I really like it. And that's your gift. And what comes with that gift is responsibility. And so he wants to try something and go to one of these portals. He thinks that that's going to happen. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I mean, go for it. More power to you. I've always been where even when I was a kid, I would have visions or dreams or whatever you want to call it, because it really doesn't matter. I can be wide awake and have these visions. And it's like I was in a stream and there was like this kind of clear, kind of little, I'll call it plastic, but it wasn't plastic. But it's like you could swim through it. It's like going from one portal to the next. So I feel it's almost natural for me to do that.
Right.
Very.
It is. This is what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not like it's a big issue for me, but I don't know how to put that in context with our world when we have very oppressed knowledge. They don't want you having that. I have fights with my Swedes. I'll tell you this: they're not human. I have fights.
No, they're not. They're not. They're either clones or they're hybrids.
They're a hybrid. I believe they're a human reptilian hybrid, whatever demonic.
Yeah.
And I have a fight with them all the time, and then I go, I already know you. I know you. You're part of nature, but you're not the good part. But you're still part of nature.
They're dark. They're the dark goo.
Mm-hmm.
Dark entities.
Yeah, I believe they're kind of the fourth dimension. But I have fights with them all the time. Physical fights, mentally, they're trying to weaponize my brain. They use the pineal gland and all that other stuff, and which is also interdimensional. But I don't believe just our pineal gland. I think our bodies are also, because my body communicates to me all the time. I have a freaky body that has like a separate mind from my mental brain. It's very strange.
You can time travel. You know, your brain is just your thoughts, so you can move forward and backward in time with your thoughts.
Yeah, but I'm mad at them. So I won't leave. I'm mad at them. And I refuse. I said, I reincarnate here. And I'm not going, because everybody keeps going, go to the fifth dimension. I go, why reincarnate here and go to the fifth dimension? I'm like, excuse me. There was a contract. You were given a contract. I was allowed to be here. Okay? Whatever they're trying to do, and they're trying to come here to Earth and all that malarkey, crap, and garbage. And I kind of always think that they were sold a bag of goods. And they blow smoke up their, whatever. And they are desperate. And if the book of Enoch is true at all in any way, shape, or form, and they're the fallen angels and all that malarkey, they're stuck. Because I can sense that. I can really sense they are stuck.
They're stuck, yeah, and they're getting desperate because they know their time's about up.
Uh-huh. And I talk to him, and I will talk to him in my head, and whatever, telepathically. And I say, you're in the wrong timeline. You do not belong here. You really do not belong here. But that's my intuitive side. I will talk to them. And I'm not super impressed. And they do a lot of things, and then they do feed off of us, and I'm angry, and I'm going to expose it. And that's why I want my little tech, so that the world can see this. And,
that's why they keep you in anxiety and depression. They feed off you like it's a battery. They feed off you like a vampire.
Yeah, I heard that they do feed off the negativity, and I listen to a lot of Christian, Book of Enoch. I do a lot of frequencies that are more positive. There's certain frequencies they say that are supposed to be really good for us in the 100,000 mark, and then the really super low frequencies, and then also the Rife quantum frequencies. And that's what I do. I play it all the time.
432.
432.
432.
There's definitely things that they're worried about me getting. I'm into the Geek Kong. They're worried about me getting into my realm if I get the power, because I will use it.
Because you get centered, you can actually transmute the crap. We can all transmute the energy they're hitting us with. We just don't know how.
Right.
I'm learning. I use mirrors too. Don't think I'm not using mirrors on these people.
Okay, good. Because they use the ionosphere, and that's already a mirror. And that early on, I figured that out because I see the reverse reflection. I see the opposite, kind of like a selfie, exactly like a selfie. And
it's an inverted world that they live in.
Yeah, but
they're inverted.
Yeah. So, but I'm going to be one of the people that's going to be exposing it. I'm working on the technology, and the same guy who did, worst case scenario. The guy who did my body scan, he can do that also. He's expensive, but I might have to do it somewhere in the future, but I would be part of a lawsuit where I can recoup my money back.
How much is the scan?
What? Excuse me?
How much is the scan?
Well, the scan, when he did me, it was $600. I heard he's gone up to $900. And who is it? Oh yeah, Barbara. She wanted to talk to me because her stuff, when she did it, was a few years ago, and she wants to compare. I did not go through Melinda Kidder, who was at one time charging 2,000, and some people are hearing all the way up to 5,000 now. And I want to smack her.
Did it just pick up RFID, or was this scan pick
What we
up, or
can do,
bioresidency, or
well,
what?
that was what was important to me because I have the nanotech, I have the more gallons nanotech. That's what the sheriffs gave me, which is military. It goes all the way. Mine goes to NASA, and of course it's part of DARPA. Um, yeah, it's got NASA, it's got Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, USC University, University of Arizona, University of Paris, and then also Namibia, which is called, they call it Germantown in Africa. So those are my primary. And there's a weird event that happens with Arizona, but that's another story. But BB, she has been talking about this stuff, and it's extremely important. That's like further getting to where I need to get, and why I bring up Obama's 2001 bioethics, where over 300 of us TIs showed up, and they were nose to nose with their scientific perps, and nobody, boo, says anything. It's cold.
Wow.
I mean, freezing
Wow.
cold. No reaction. What the hell? You hit pager and you act like this? You know, I'm like, you know, but that's okay, you know. And I go, this is the international consortium, and I'm international, which is the Swedes, and then, you know, Ernst Frederick Lubing and his daddy, who is a real elite SS Nazi officer. And where's the Nazi hunters? He was right in front of your face. There's still a Nazi stronghold. They gave him citizenship, for God's sakes. Okay, I just need to get the records. My perps are
We're
freaking
going
out.
to take a break for one moment, ladies, because I want to show you Wireshark. Don't forget to download Wireshark. I'm going to post the link. Let me, where did I put the darn thing here? So if you download Wireshark, you will be able to record some of the, well, probably all of your RFID.
Okay.
It's simple. Give it all permissions. It's free. It's right here. I don't earn money from this. This is it's an authoritative investigative tool for network sniffing on your own network. And it will show all kinds of, it's just, if you record this and you save your files, and I teach you a little bit, let's say you bring everything to a lawyer and you've got your basics, your basic information. Your lawyer will say, well, okay, you need to hire an expert. Well, you can hire the expert and he can go through the packets you've already recorded over a 6-month period, which shows a pattern of behavior. That's dirt cheap. It's dirt cheap. Cost, you know, whatever, maybe $50 an hour for them to go through a few. And when you have the thing, they can go through all of the IP addresses, just proof all at once. Okay. But it's factual database gathering. So I'm going to put this in the comments section.
There was another thing I've been thinking about, because, you know, I've been focusing on the Jewish people. Have a Jewish friend, TI friend, Juparina, who's in Maryland, who her family literally went through the Holocaust, you know, talking about adding, you know, insult to injury. And her perps are Kaiser. But my point is, she was kind of asking me, how do we find out? How do we know? And they're coming into my house and blah, 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 blah. And I kind of went, well, you're kind of dealing with a military type of CIA, kind of go over here and try and study what they would do, like their books. But anyway, and I'm like going, well, you kind of have to kind of go, the jumping part is, you have to kind of go, what do you do? What do they do in order to protect themselves? Like Switzerland. They have repositories. You have the Jewish people. They have certain repositories. They have to, on such a high level, in order to protect our information and our data, whatever we're collecting. Because America has made it very plain. They are our military, the ShadowNet and Shadowgate. They mess with my phones. Okay? I'm like going, well, you know, we know this. It's already been exposed. And I will out you like I always do. I more than out people. I collect the evidence and I push it forward. And but I know I want my stuff in a safe place. You know, like Switzerland, you know, the oligarchies and stuff like that. You have to think like that. And I've told TIs in the past, when you want shielding. You have to think like the military. What the freaking hell do they do in order to protect themselves? They're usually in an underground bunker, fortified underground bunkers. So that's what's going on. And the other irony is it's what, 10, 12 years, whatever. Nobody's managed to come up with these experts who can tell us. Snowden protects his butt, his dumb ass. He knows how to. He'll rig his little apartment, this and that, and he's all protected. But he's never divulged that information to us. Never. But my point is, it is out there. You just got to push it. You really got to push it. And I'm going to chase down these experts. And like I have said it, you're going to end up needing your forensics experts because that's when they legally, they take us much more seriously. And, you know, but I'm not in the mood to play. I'm really not in the mood to play because they've been doing their stupid stuff. They want to come out of the woodwork and kind of give me their stupid threats. And that don't work. Don't work with me. It makes me more serious. And my mom and them kind of threatening me about my mom, it's the opposite. My mom was getting feisty, so that was a good sign. She's let me sleep now. I'm like, okay. So she's doing much better, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop, and it doesn't mean that I'm going to stop protecting her. I'll chase after her. I'm the new Nazi hunter. That's why they got scared of me. That's why they got frightened.
We will get them. They will get exposed.
Well, they're going to get more than exposed. I can be military. I can be all of them and better at it.
The people they hire are not real smart. They walk the same dog. What's that all about? They have dogs. They use the same dog around my house. What are they doing?
It is kind of interesting. Yeah, the dog thing. But they harm the dogs and they harm the cats. They kill them. I've seen a shadow come out before the dog. I'm like going, that was weird. They were doing that on purpose. And I'm like trying to figure out why. But you know, our animals are spirit. They're spirit and their soul.
Yeah.
And you know, and so apparently there's a lot more to it. And but I'm gonna do it. I mean, I'm already ready for it. I'm prepared. Whether I fight here or in the next room, I'm not stopping. I am not stopping. And if
It's got to be exposed.
Mm-hmm. Well, more than exposed. It needs to stop. That's why they
We
call it
need
spiritual.
actual support, not cowards from political leaders. And political leaders are just bought off because this is a money-making slavery system
I'm
where
tired of
they
it.
kill people.
I'm tired of it.
I mean, my God, like I've confirmed all these entities in my network. It's factual. They shouldn't be there. And they are selling biomedical data and trading with Linode. You can trace all of this stuff. It's incredible the information you can have just from the internet because it's open season. It's just open season. You can it shows everything.
Well, yeah, they're going out of their way to protect themselves. If you're rich enough, that's what it's all about. And they have, you know, they're in competition with themselves, with each other, you know, on this high level. And that reminds me of like Alfred Webery. They got him off of Facebook, but Alfred Webery basically saved me and my family's life twice. He's the one that's told me about these ET treaties and that they are really literally trading technology. And so there's some interesting things about Alfred. And but it's you know, they don't, I know my Swede perps do not want him to be the human regional galactic a representative. And you know, I don't know what, you know, I don't know completely what that's about, but I know that the Swedes don't want it. They don't like it. They want to be the dictators. They dictate to my my American perps, which are different agencies that work kind of together. And they have a weird reaction to Laura Eisenhower. I don't know what that's about. You know, I find that kind of interesting. But she, to me, when I look at her, because I'm a TI with electronic stuff, I can tell they use the technology on her. And in a sense, she's like a TI. And just like I saw Comey, they're using the same stuff. And it was too easy for me to read. But then that's okay. I don't like Comey. Eisenhower, because of generational stuff, this is the real program, and that's why I will be more interested. And not only that, I know I must look like a freak with my little lights, but hey, oh well. I had one TI friend kind of complain about, don't do that, Nina. I'm like, oh, you're still living in the past. But this is kind of it really where we as an evolutionary level, as a species, we are coming to a head and we are having to face it. And and that's why they become very important, because I can be more open about my strange subject matter, where everyone else is like, conventional, that doesn't exist, blah, blah, blah. And I don't need that. When he interviewed me, that was like, it was life-saving. It was like to get my testimony out. I needed to get it out. And that's what it was about, really about. And, he's got his degrees in education and stuff. And so to me, he's very easy because I've worked in schools. I've always was kind of like a career student, and because I enjoy academia, but I don't like the 12 through K. I can't stand that. Even though I've worked in it to only find that I can't stand it. But anyway, the point is, he's also TI, he's also perped, and there are some people who say things, but you kind of just like you're weighing it, and you eventually you'll see who's the truth and who's not. And he's more important because he is talking about stuff, opening and exposing it and everything, and he's got a wide people to talk to. And he's also a war crimes judge. He's done that at least twice and won. And then because he's a Juris Doctorate attorney, he may be retired, but he also has his degree in education, a master's degree, and then was teaching in law school, came from Yale, and, all that stuff, Cuban refugee, married to a Canadian woman. So he's got, I don't know, do you still have your Cuban citizenship? I don't know how that works. But he's he is kind of out there. And no, he's not perfect. Nobody is. I haven't found anyone that's perfect yet. But he's done things for me that other people have not done for me. And then when they're doing it for me, they're doing it for me and my family. And it's astronomical. It was extremely important. So he's on Twitter still. But I kind of told him, I said, when are you going to do your war crimes? You need to sue these people. Quit just talking about it. Enough with the talk. Do. We need much more action. And because he's capable of doing it. He's got the degree. Do it. Do it. Put your money where your mouth is. Do it. This media is part of the psychological warfare. They've got a massive, massive control on the whole human race. If you don't get out from under that, you don't have any control. And he's capable of doing it. I don't have a degree, and I especially don't have a degree in law. And part of me thinks that I would have loved to have done it, but
Well, I'll tell you from the Canadian perspective for media.
Mhm.
So the media in Canada was bought out for almost $1 billion,
Wow.
and with taxpayer dollars.
Of course.
And the entire document was redacted.
Wow.
Do you think that CBC, which is the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation here in Canada, they're pretty much, I think, propaganda at this point.
Mm-hmm.
They made fun of targeted individuals when a sign went up on a bus here a few years ago. They took a psychiatrist to testify. Well, I'll call it testify, to give testimonial on TV that these people have mental health issues and are poorly misguided.
Mm-hmm.
He forgot to mention that his hospital is part of biomedical human trafficking.
And the psychology part of
And
it
that
too.
they take in grants that promote human trafficking, and that they are working with military contractors. So what they do is they put stuff in a person's body without consent,
Mm-hmm.
and study them until they're dead. And if they complain about it, they just tell people that they're nuts,
Mm-hmm.
and they medicate them,
Mm-hmm.
and they continue the study until they're dead. That's why the military industrial complex, you can Google it,
Mhm.
has left pretty much developing military weapons and gone into medical because they're finding they get their kicks
Mhm.
out of killing people and they're making more money than they ever did before. And
Yeah,
the governments
I'm
are
sorry.
participating in this, okay?
Mhm.
Governments
I
are
caught my friend, military contractor, followed me in Walmart. He is a military, I think he's Blackwater. So I knew immediately he was one of my targeting perps.
Well, this involves, like for me, I've traced this to, I guess, Giesbrecht. I think it's Giesbrecht. It's like an automotive vehicle reselling new car place. 3 vehicle places are involved in this. So these guys are very wealthy. So
Mhm.
they are some of the oligarchs involved in human trafficking. And they're connecting directly to my networks, right?
Mhm.
So we've got these guys, we've got private addresses, they're all tied back to Health Sciences Center in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and St. Boniface Hospital and Bueller Galleries, and our medical records in my medical records. So I watch them flow in and out of my network. I confronted Manitoba E-Chart. I said, you guys are hacking me. I see you coming into my network and going out of my network. They had the nerve to write me back and tell me, no, we're not. I have proof of it. It's fact.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's 100%. They just think we're all stupid.
Mhm.
So what I need to prepare is I need to prepare a massive document. It'll just be short documents. I have about 70 individuals I have to serve.
Mhm.
So the
Mhm.
other night, Lee so kindly shared his free man on the land. I'm going to do some editing of it, and it's a fee schedule. So when they take this to their lawyers,
Mhm.
apparently they aren't even going to be able to argue it.
Yeah, because they break, if they take their oath and they do, if they even open their mouth, it's like, I think $1,600 per violation. They're not gonna open their mouth.
Well, no, it goes up to like a million, whatever. I mean, I'm gonna bolster like the fee schedule. But in Canada, this is the funny part. Because this is actual law and actual common law, I had no idea. They're working on something else totally different, as though we're dead beings and we are corporations and not human beings.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
you have to get sovereign and not, if you go to court and raise your hand, you're taking accountability for your straw man. That's not who you are. You're a sovereign.
Mhm.
Like I'm Susan House of Pierce. I'm not Susan Pierce. I'm totally trying to get sovereign. I'm trying to find out how to do that.
Okay.
So yeah, Lee knows how he studied this stuff for several years and he served it. But once he served these notifications, the police started showing up at his door and questioning him. They wanted to, do something to him, whatever. And he just answered a question with a question, which is what he was telling me. I wish he would have went to bed. I was hoping he stayed on here longer, so he could come and talk to everybody
Mhm.
because he's great.
Yeah,
He's very
Miriam was
super.
supposed to come on, and I don't see her here. She wanted the link. I gave her the link.
Oh, that's too bad.
Mhm.
So
Anyway,
when the cop follow me, are they hitting me with Stingray or something? Why are they following me? Like I get forward and I have an ambulance that turns their sirens on and off and follows me every day. It's black and red. That's Satanism.
apparently they're using Wi-Fi boosters, and when you're getting gang stalked, and you may not feel the impacts completely, but they are breaking you down at a cellular level.
Yeah.
Right.
They are. This is the depopulation event, ladies, and you don't have to look far. In your local community, there'll be sustainable development. They are tied to your network. They
Okay.
do come through your network. Yeah, it's all cookie cutter. Yeah, they're all
Mhm.
perfectly
Mhm.
great. But they're going to be killed too. I mean, like, rejoice in that. I mean,
Yeah,
they're
if they're hitting me with energy, are they not radiating their own cells when they do that
yes,
shit to me?
yes, they are. They are creating an environmental signature for themselves. Like these people are just stupid. If they actually think that this is not going to happen to them,
Mhm.
they're delusional.
Mhm.
They want to kill off like 7.5 billion people on
Yeah.
this planet, I think.
Mhm.
In the Bible, it says 1/3, right?
Yeah, 1/3. One says
1/3.
1/3 that they're going to wipe out, and so it basically, Prince Charles and that are
Oh, those
involved with it.
psychos. Mhm.
According to oh gosh, what's that
Well,
UN?
William owns Servco, and Servco who owns the RFID chip. And Fauci's, Moderna, and Gates are also involved.
Oh yeah,
I'm
big time.
actually voting.
That's
Huh?
what, yeah, big time. That's where Christine Grady and then what is it, Amazing Polly was outing them, and she's going, the person who's calling the shots on the COVID was Christine Grady, and I was like, my jaw was dropping. I go, that's the same woman on the Obama 2011 bioethics.
Yes,
And she's
exactly.
married to
And
Fauci.
Fauci's wife is rubber stamping everything he did. Gates gave him $8 million to go down to Wuhan, and Obama was there in 2015. So
Yep.
you tell me the bat, this was not pre-planned. I
Oh,
work
yeah.
with Judy Minkovich.
Uh-huh.
Fauci's neurologist is one of my business partners.
Who is?
Dr. Judy Minkovich. I sell CBD with her.
Oh, really?
She's Fauci's virologist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I get shit that y'all have no idea the intel that I have.
Wow.
And I do know, I'm just going to tell you straight up, Sterling Hill, I interviewed her. She's one of the world's leading gene experts. They have released something in Denmark they're calling COVID-20. It is not COVID, it is hemorrhagic. And we put a call in to Judy to find out if, the E, I'm not going to say it on here, has been activated. That's the only thing we know that's hemorrhagic. And Sterling said they had a 42-year-old woman that started bleeding in New Orleans. By the time she got to the hospital, she'd bled out. And the only thing that y'all can do is colloidal silver, zinc, selenium, probiotics, and vitamin D. That's what Sterling told me. I would go get y'all some.
I can tell you what you're telling me is true because an internal memo was leaked to a whistleblower in the media by one of the elect here in Canada. Anybody who doesn't take the COVID shot is going to be placed into a internment camp.
Yep.
They're going to be deemed as a community health hazard, like a community health issue or whatever, like a danger to society.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't take the COVID shot, that's where they stay. And there's going to be 2 COVID shots. In order to be released, you have to give up all of your assets, all of your property, every single thing, and then you will be released. But you also have to take the 2 COVID shots. Now, my
you got 4 AIs. You take that shot, you're dead. They have 4 quantum dots in there, you're dead.
That's right. My Anon released the quantum dots. He's a scientist. He released that back in January. Now, there's something else you need to know. My other Anon, Paul, in February, he broke the COVID down. It was genetically engineered.
Of course it is. I'm an expert in it. I'm an ex-German biotech. That's what I did for 6 years until they put me into a 5-carb pilot and put me in bed for 20 years and got me addicted. 8 years sober. That's why I created my own TV show. I created a platform where I could tell the truth and whistleblow against pharma.
Okay.
That's awesome. You have 2 huge fans here.
Okay.
I'll tell you one more thing about this. Now, my other Anon also discovered, and somewhere he's deleted now. They started targeting the shit right out of him. What they plan on doing is building a graphene umbrella. This is Gates. And they want to place it between the sun and the moon. Or no, the sun and Earth. And they want to cover off 1/3 of the sun from Earth.
Well, you know, that's what, like, other people, Lena, Lena Pooh, and I said this independently from her, especially when I got the Morgellons, they're trying to terraform the planet. And the nanotech is like a copywriting thing, and they're doing it for another species, and it is not us. Let me put it to you that way. So that's what I find interesting. That's why everything is negative. That's why the frequencies are so demonic and everything like that. And I talk about how they're merging the 3D and the 4D. They're augmenting the realities. And So that
Well,
just kind
look
of,
at Obama's brain initiative. I mean, Obama's the one that's doing the brain initiative and the Neuralink. I think we're the guinea pigs before the whole society goes wireless.
uh-huh.
But if you get that COVID shot, you know, luciferase is the micro needling delivery system. It's a sugar nanotube. It rewrites, has hydrogel rewriting and transcribing your DNA up to the cloud. You're totally owned, modified, and transhuman if you get that shot. If he
Okay.
owns the AI,
Mhm.
he owns you.
Okay. Yeah. What is your first name?
Susan,
Susan. Okay. I'm Nina, of course. I need to
nice
give
to
you
meet you.
my information, and I also want you to give it to Brockovich.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's extremely important. Also, while I have you here, I need to ask because for some reason nobody wants to seem to give me the information. Ironically enough, they've been messing with my foods, and I wanted to know what kind of tech I can use to start testing my food for contaminants, whether it's chemical or biological.
Oh gosh, you'd have to send your food off for analysis. I heard
Somebody,
they like to use arsenic. I've gotten so sick. I've got where I buy my food daily and eat it. I don't let anything in my cabinets.
yeah, I could buy it. It's already contaminated at the stores.
You know, that
Um,
I'd have to interrupt you guys for a second. You
Mhm.
know, if we've reached the point where there's no no real value in our food system,
Mhm.
I don't think. I mean, we're so easily led into a fast food notion. Plus, they're beating the shit out of us, and
Mhm.
of course, we want to eat fast food because we can't get up. Because they've made slits in our bodies and put RFID in every part of our body, so they can human traffic and make tons of cash on us.
Mhm.
I can't tell how many patents that they've taken out of me. I've only found a few,
Mhm.
linking directly to my network.
Mhm.
They're disgusting.
Mhm.
These are not human beings, and I've tracked almost every single one of them.
Mhm.
Every single one of
Hey,
them,
They
like
are
a
they
book.
are merging man with machines. When you have Psychotronics, I have my
In my
perks.
in my backyard,
Mhm.
one of the machines, which was sitting right, one of the transmitters was called an SARNA.
what do they look like?
I haven't gone to track it down with my sister yet.
I
It was.
found all this
I'll show
radio
you where it is
frequency
here. I'll show you in the. It's still in.
along my neighbor's fence. I went yesterday and I had my EMF detection radio frequency. It's all along my fence line. I can't figure out where they are.
Is that the
You have. That's
nano
why.
tubes?
Yeah. No. You have to download Wiggle Wi-Fi and go for
The signals, the
Well,
go
frequency.
for the signal locations. Like I'm just showing you the database here.
I'm going to be
So
chasing
they
down the food because they're causing some kind of burning. There seems to be some kind of connection between that and the radiation. Why is everything nuclear? Why is everything nuclear? I'm going to be taking chemistry classes and all blah blah blah. I have some of my
because
own
they want to
thoughts.
strip out the food value. There's when you radiate food,
Mm-hmm.
you're
You get no
eradicating.
nutrition. All nutrition's gone.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Well,
So
even on us, the
you've got a
weapons,
society
everything
that
is
is
nuclear.
malnourished
Mm-hmm.
and toxic. They're
Yeah.
sick.
Mm-hmm. But this obsession with nuclear and radiation. Wireless
Because
existed with
lizards are hot
Tesla.
blooded.
Yeah, well, Tesla, he was turn of the century. They had wireless, and then also he has scalar waves. So there's things. I have my little plants. I'm doing stuff. I'm doing stuff with the soils. I'm doing stuff with what you call the
You
beneficial
can heal with
nematodes.
scalar.
Yeah, I'm
You
doing
can
some.
heal or kill with
Yeah,
scalar.
I
It
got a
depends
couple
on the
things with
level.
scalar. I am working on that. I'm studying it and moving on up with that. And so I'm definitely going to get there. I'm taking chemistry, so I'll probably try and figure things out on a chemical level at least. So the food, because they've been doing stuff, they've been affecting my kidneys, not just mine, my mother's, and there's stuff, and especially with the sugars for some reason. Um, Even if it's natural, but it's burning. It literally burns. My eyes are burning tonight.
Wow.
Yeah, my throat, my chest, and I'm like going, and I'm starting to think there's some kind of connection between that and the nuclear, meaning the radiation,
That's
and they'll do it
the
on
EMF.
purpose. Yeah,
That's the EMF radiation hitting you that's thermally heating up your vasculars. I can tell you that for a fact.
yeah. So they're putting the chemicals, whatever they're putting and contaminating the food with, and they're putting it together. And then these people that were doing their stuff because they talk. Because like one guy, he was a satellite engineer. He goes, what happens is they're doing IP addresses into your brain, satellite IP addresses, and they're using your brain. His terminology was a chat room. I kind of talk about it like as a meeting, like a virtual reality meeting. So they will cross talk to each other, and I'm hearing it, and then they'll say, not just talk, you see them. I see them. I've had TI leaders go, it's holographic. I'm like, no, it is not. It is real time. Okay, and then
They hacked your retina, it sounds like. They said you're being neuromonitored through your own retina.
yeah, yeah. I believe isn't the retina, I mean, pineal gland also connected to your eyes?
Yes, it's your third eye in the
Mm-hmm.
middle of your limbic system.
Yep, and that's how they're able to see out your eyes. Am I not correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
Actually, it's the chemtrails, it's the nanoparticles falling from the chemtrails that land in your eyes, which gives them a screen so they can see through your eyes
Mm-hmm.
from the nanoparticulates of what's falling.
I know they go in and then also out. So that's why they call you spying. And then I have these people with 6 years master's degree and people with these degrees in medical going, I have cameras in my eye. I have cameras in my eye. And I'm thinking, are you just trying to prove to me you're not just gaslighting me, but you're a perp? Okay,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I'm
they're
like, give me a
gaslighting you.
freaking break. And yeah, but that's okay.
You're gonna mess up the nanotech in the eyes, put colloidal silver in, and then at night put organic castor oil, and it will pull out the impurities.
Okay.
And it'll feed your eyes omega-3, 6, and 9s. I'm a life coach too.
Okay, cool. Cool. I'll tell Robert that too.
Colloidal
'Cause
silver,
yeah,
yep, in
I
the
need
eyes
to.
and the ears.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and
In the sinuses. If you can get an neti pot and rinse with pink Himalayan and some colloidal silver,
mhm.
that silver is gonna eat that casing of that nanoparticulate.
Well, because some of these
You're
metals,
kidding.
yeah, some of these metals are god metals, and that's why they're a problem for them. Just like also some of the foods are god foods. It has certain frequencies or
Essential oils. I use essential oils to raise the frequency of my cells. I
right.
use microcurrents to open up my vasculars.
Mm-hmm.
You get a violet wand and put it against your body, and violet wands
Mm-hmm.
will shock you, but you fry their circuitries when you micro electrocute yourself in some degree. Oh, I like messing with their circuitry.
Oh wow. Okay, because I had one before. And I had these nurses that were shutting me down because I was going to go to the ALS, out of Berkeley, where they have the synchron spectroscopy equipment where they can literally see the nanotech in your body. And she was
Yeah.
literally shutting me down. And I'm just like, she goes, oh, just tapping will make it all go away. And I'm
Yeah,
just,
she was condescending, telling you it was a mental case. Just tap it away. She was
yeah.
condescending to you.
Oh, beyond. She shut me down like you wouldn't believe. And I had a real live gov perp coming in and attacking me because I was ready to, hey, let's all go to over here, which is the Department of Energy, with this highly powerful equipment to prove our stuff. And nope, that was like,
They have a bioresonance somewhere. I know in Birmingham, Grandview is a fusion center.
wow. You're in Georgia?
At the in Birmingham, Alabama,
Alabama.
Grandview.
Okay, we're back to Alabama again.
Yep.
Okay.
That's
Wow.
and I understand they have the bioresonance machines that and they'll kidnap you. I've been medically kidnapped. They'll hold you in there and tune you for 6 hours against your will.
Wow. Okay, that's kind of making sense because what Olga Limpkin and Hilo Hawaii was talking about, what they did to her.
It's evil. They'll pick you off the streets. I mean, they forced me in an ambulance. Forced me.
Well, that's our God stuff. That's why they care about it.
Yeah.
That's our God essence.
They want our soul. They want our soul. They're trying to trauma-based mind control us.
Uh-huh.
They keep your cortisol so freaking high that you can't ever get any sleep and your hormones get all whack.
Uh-huh.
And then you can't ever heal because your sleep is off because they keep you in fight or flight.
Right.
High cortisol tears a body apart.
Oh man. That's
and
totally
I
me.
seek ways to get, like, throw your legs up. They trigger you and get your heart pounding, throw those legs up on a wall and force that blood back into your heart and your vital organs.
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn all this so I could survive. They kept me in such fight or flight for 2 years. I got anorexic because I couldn't eat or sleep.
Well, that's what they do to me. I'm up at night. I can't. They won't allow me. When it gets dark, when it's dark, pitch black, that's it. And that's it.
They hit you through the smart meters. They hit you with EMFs.
I'm
They're using bidirectional energy and low frequency too to affect your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
They're literally triggering emotions in you.
Yeah. And I have more than just me to worry about. I have my mother. They're going after her big time. And they were
They're
getting
going
all
after
excited.
you.
Death, death, death. And I'm like getting all pissed off. And my other thing is I'm like going, these people are trained in this. My FBI, very sarcastic, Latina, they're always like, oh, everybody discriminates. Well, you're helping you infiltrate your COINTELPRO, and your job is to infiltrate so that you can call and genocide your own people. So don't give me
Yep.
this crap. And
It is COINTELPRO, I think, who's behind all this. And Scientology. It's linked to Scientology somehow.
Scientology is L. Ron Hubbard, which was also Navy intelligence, which is also Jack Parsons, which is also satanic, where they copied from, I believe the Nazis were actually occultists, and this is all very satanic, where they're actually kidnapping children off the streets and doing a satanic torture on them so that they can drum up more of the demons.
Adrenochrome.
Yeah, well, it's more than adrenochrome. They need to torture you to death. If they've done it with adults, to the point, because they're trying to drum up the biggest, darkest demon they can. The problem is that society has a hard time understanding that these people, the Nazis, it started in World War I, was actually getting tech from them. Because everybody thinks demons.
Crowley actually opened up, I think, with Parsons, and I think they opened a portal up.
They did.
Hillary Clinton has got a demon in her.
Near my house. I'm in Pasadena, JPL. Okay, Jack Parsons went JPL. It's all together, and they did this the spirit cooking, and he literally had the ceramic pot and the spirit cooking, and basically he was trying to copy what they're doing the Nazis, but that's also connected to CERN.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's the Abramovich crap. That's Satanism.
Yeah, exactly.
Gates and Abramovich are working together through Looking Glass, and if people understand what's going on, they can see your future. That's why Hillary Clinton thought she won. It's Project Looking Glass.
Okay. Yep, you got it. You got it. You hit the nail on the head. And I'm right next to this. They use them. They use Mojave Desert. They got this black gay male model who's gorgeous, and Lady Gaga. The picture is leaked, and they got him all. He's naked up against a tree, and
he was from Georgia. Did you know that?
Yes.
They found him in the desert with all of his freaking organs gone.
Yeah, I hate. Yeah, I'm upset because I'm like going. What are these people doing walking the streets? They need to be gone.
They're Luciferians.
Yeah, I know.
Southern soul.
Yeah, I know. They're cursing them into the next life and getting all the power. I know. I see it in buildings. I can tell that they sacrifice people to buildings when they build these buildings.
It's sick. The whole world, I mean, the medical, child protection services, judges, utility, they're all in on this. Masons, Eastern Star, they're Satanists.
Yeah. So what did you call it? Looking Glass, mirror, or something, so I can look it up?
It's Project Looking Glass.
Okay.
And they call it Alice. That's why they call Hillary Alice.
I think she's their high satanic priestess. She's
And Beyonce, Angelina Jolie, all of them.
Yeah, but Hillary Clinton, she's very important to them.
Video of Angelina admitting sacrificing her damn pet snake. I mean, it's out of her mouth, not mine. I'm not slandering these people. It's out of their own mouth.
Yeah. But like with my Swedes, she is on an international level on this, whatever you want to call it, on the higher echelons. Hillary is important to them, and I think what they want to do is she's going to be the world president, the worldwide president. That's why they're doing the collapse of our country and this stupid garbage with our elections, and I'm like,
they're picked at birth. Nobody elects shit. They're picked at birth.
Oh.
They're picked at birth.
But I know she's important to them, and I think she's a satanic priestess of some sort.
She has Cooper disease. The real Hillary out here is dead.
Yeah, I just don't know how to differentiate that yet, because they keep talking about clones. They don't clone just here; they clone also in the fourth dimension. They're doing it in nauseam. I see my perps, my Swedish perps. They work together. My FBI, they serve them. They do it in nauseam. Yes, you heard it here. Yep.
If you try to explain this to the average person, they think you're absolutely crazy.
Yep.
But when you see it as a cabal network of a global satanic system,
Mhm.
it totally, you can see the board. It's like, this is the chessboard. These are the 88 people and moves they do.
Mhm.
It's a game to these people. It's not fun. It's our lives. And these
Mhm.
Satanists, they think it's fun. It's not fun.
Mm-mm.
It's hell.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. They want hell here on earth. Mhm.
They do. They want the chaos. They want our soul because
Yeah.
we have we have God in us, and they want that.
Right.
They don't have that.
Right. Right.
Their soul is organic portals walking around trying to keep people in the matrix, and we have the God spark. They can't stand it.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
That's
Yes.
why they radiate the crap out of it.
And then try to cut our connection to our God, our spirit, our connection. That's what they're
Yeah,
doing.
look up Funbacks. Bill Gates, 2015, went for the CIA, looking for the God particle. That vaccine cuts off the receptor sites where your second side of your pineal gland is.
Mhm.
People are using technocrat ways to cut you off from your savior. They're evil. You're so evil.
Yeah, there's something also very interesting about my Swedes. They are biological, and there's something about that, and there's something about the nanotech, the Morgellons, and you know, I know that they cut off our connection to God. I felt that very early on, but I think that they somehow encapsulated Earth. They cut it off. They'll use the HARP technology equipment around the world, and also with the satellites, and do that. And they're messing with the magnetic poles, huh?
They're messing with the Schumann frequency. They're changing the whole Earth. They've changed it from 432 to 440. It's totally frazzling our cellular structure.
Well, you
We're
know,
made in water.
Earth. She's alive. Mother Earth. She's conscious. She's a being too, just like all the other planets. So when they do that, all I'm doing is sitting here thinking, all you're doing is creating a deeper and bigger hell for yourselves. I mean, talk about the emperor's wearing no clothing. I mean, but
Right.
there's nothing I can do to stop them. They will not listen to me. They are using the quantum computers, and they've talked about it. They upload all this satanic stuff in it, and I've even heard they said that they upload even demonic spirits. And I
Of course
call
they do. What do you
I
think?
can tell you, ladies, with the digs that I've done, all TIs are connected to CERN.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh shit.
All TIs are connected to the Papal See. The Holy
So
See.
they're trying to use our energy to open up the fucking black portal to bring Satan Apollyon out of the abyss. Just great. I do not consent. I do not consent.
Revelation
9, we were reading the
Yeah, we were reading that last
Okay.
night. So listen to this. So we're connected to the Papal See.
Mhm.
All right.
Shit.
So we're connected to several other things. But ironically, when I looked up myself, I'm like, oh, okay, because I was still going through this and trying to wrap my head around it for several months, and I found that I'm connected to the archdiocese, and I thought, oh, well, I guess that's because I've never been baptized. Well, I did some homework, a little bit of homework on the Archdiocese of Rome, which is ecclesiastical studies. And ecclesiastical studies is basically the military of Rome. So they consider, I guess, some people an enemy of the papal see. So then they assign them to the Archdiocese of Rome.
Wow.
Oh great. We're all the
No,
big.
I'm assigned to the Archdiocese of Rome. I'm assuming a few others are. You guys would be because you're verbose. Now, there is a whistleblower. I've asked Liliana to get in touch with her. I think she is absolutely the most brave human being in the world. Her name is Claire Edwards. She's a former UN staff member, and
Oh, yeah.
she has done whistleblowing on the COVID-19 genocide, okay,
Mhm.
of 2020.
Mhm.
Now, I don't know if you've seen this, but you need to see it. So I'm just going to give you the tail end of it, and I'm going to post the link in the description box
Okay.
of the clip that we're doing here.
Mhm.
She tells you who's doing this,
Mhm.
but they can't figure out the weapon system. I have figured out the weapon system.
Okay.
I understand how they're doing it, right?
Is Alice Horton? I mean, not Alice, but is Professor Horton a good good person or is she controlled up?
She's controlled up. That's what I believe. Absolutely. I can't go into why, but
How was she still alive is my question. If she's truly a CERN scientist, they would have killed her a long ass time ago.
yeah, she would have understood a lot more about radio frequencies and spectrum analysis too.
And shielding.
And shielding. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
was
just,
like,
I'm
she
just going to
should
throw
have
this clip on here so you guys can watch the tail end of this.
Yeah, I like
This
this.
is Claire. This is Claire Edwards speaking.
Trying to grow food crops. Western values will have been tested to the breaking point. Your culture will be eliminated and replaced with Maoist technocratic slogans.
Oh.
They are engineering food shortages in numerous different ways. They are building concentration camps for dissenters. They want to impose a forced vaccine full of nanochips for immunity passports and cryptocurrency, and nanoparticles so that they can track, surveil, and control us, including our minds. This vaccine is intended to genetically modify humanity for all future generations. In the US, Soros and 269 major corporations are funding Black Lives Matter and destroying America with the complicity of corrupt Democrat politicians. They want civil war everywhere. In Austria, France, Switzerland, the US, and other countries, many people are armed and trained to fight. We cannot give them what they want. We must stop this agenda in its tracks, take power ourselves, and arrest the perpetrators. Conclusion. Governments are corporations obeying orders from the World Economic Forum and are no longer serving their peoples. They are acting in contravention of international and national laws and no longer have any legitimacy. We are witnessing the collapse of the rule of law. Governments, elected representatives, and international institutions, including the United Nations, and private clubs, such as the International Commission on Non-Ionizing Radiation Protection and the World Economic Forum, are complicit in this greatest crime against humanity ever committed. Only the sovereign peoples of this world have legitimacy under these circumstances. The perpetrators, including Klaus Schwab, Prince Charles, Bill and Melinda Gates, George Soros, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, and the World Health Organization's Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus and Michael Ryan, the New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, and UK Health Minister Matt Hancock, French President Emmanuel Macron and Prime Minister Edouard Philippe, German Chancellor Angela Merkel, Austrian Chancellor Sebastian Kurz, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, mainstream journalists, and others must be seized and brought to justice in new Nuremberg trials. Politicians, journalists peddling fake news for the mainstream media, and others may be granted immunity if they change sides now, join the people before it is too late, and become whistleblowers.
So I'm going to post her link because this is an important video for everybody to watch.
Yeah.
You know, everything that we are doing and verify. I had no idea that the weapon system that I was tracing, I thought it was just targeted specifically to my family, and that they've been doing this to my family for several decades. Many decades. I have evidence of it. 1983 is as far back as I said, I mentioned that I tracked it inside the ASN. This ASN was specifically assigned to my family. It's probably the best example in the world of probably an MK Ultra family or multi-generational targeting, whichever way you want to look at it. And when I embarked upon looking at this in April, I said, God, please give me enough knowledge to understand, and I promise I will tell others and try to help others. Please help me. And I just began digging and digging and digging, and what I found was just a rat's nest. They are bringing in covert military soldiers from countries from all over the world, I believe, into Canada,
Have you
just in
contacted
plain
this woman?
clothing.
Have you contacted?
And this is happening in every nation,
Yeah, I know.
just in every nation. It's just, and they're killing us with our own infrastructure
Mhm.
of Wi-Fi.
Mhm. Well, they're killing us even with the Operation Mockingbird. They have got such a control. That is such an MK Ultra psyops. It is unbelievable, and it's hard to get out from underneath it. And not only that, to be quick enough because it's got so much control. And I'm watching them do it. I'm like, how do we get in front of it? Because it is so usurped, and they've got such a control on that. It's not funny. It's not just mainstream media. It's the social media, it's the big tech, the oligarchies, and you need to contact her. You need to give her your information. You need to do that. And because we've got to
You know what
spearhead this.
I asked Liliana to reach out
I
to
did
Claire
too.
Edwards
I did.
so that, they could combine forces and do something together
Mhm.
that's constructive,
Mhm.
that will help everyone.
Well, you probably have to
Okay.
do it on your own. Mhm.
And I just don't know if that's going to occur. I mean,
I've already
I
did
think
it. I sent out the information too, and I kind of sat back. But then when I hear it more and I'm having conversations, I'm realizing you need to do it. Your energy, your force, you need to do it. Liliana's not going to. She's not going to have. She's not going to be able to articulate it the way you do. And
Liliana's an extremely, extremely smart lady.
Mhm.
Like, very, very smart.
Mhm.
She told me like several months back, oh God, they're blasting my back. She told me several months back that this is Imbro. So what happened was, this is what she explained to me. I probably told you this before. Now, she said that during the climate accord meeting, all the little oligarchs got together
Mhm.
and they decided that they were going to create an international brain research program in order to achieve reduction in the carbon footprint. Now, that means they're going to be violating the Nuremberg Code with non-consenting human experimentation by experimenting on human beings' brains.
Yep.
I'll tell you what
So,
it is. Mhm.
I mean, how horrifying is that?
I already know what
So
it
I've
is. I
given
already
some
know what it
homework
is.
on that, and I still have not done that yet.
Okay. What it
For April.
is like when I told you I'm part of the coroner's office and how it started with me, it was like I was on a metal slab and they're uploading me. They're uploading us into the AI quantum computer. They're very serious about putting us in the machine, and our physical bodies ixnate. Okay, they talk about living forever, the Kurzweils, the singularity. They are extremely serious about it. They've done it. And if my perps, my psychotronics are evidence of that, and that's another thing I didn't tell you. I caught my FBI Latina agent. She told me early on when it escalated, we only eat energy now. We eat energy, and it was cash currency. But when I caught her sucking on one of my family, and if I'm talking about what a spiritual body, our energy body, our astral bodies, whatever you want to call it, and on one of my family members who actually has innocence, unlike her, she's sucking on it and actually kind of sexually gyrating on it. I caught her a couple of times doing that, and it got me upset. It disgusted me, and then I kind of put it on Trump's Twitter wall. She got embarrassed. Okay, so if my junk that I talk about isn't even anywhere close to being real. I'm just giving you ideas. I'm just telling you, we're already there. We're already there. They think that they're going to live forever.
I don't believe that targeted individuals can remain isolated from each other. I do believe targeted individuals have to come together as a family. Somehow we are all a genetic family.
Mhm.
Now, I don't quite understand how or why. I haven't gone back into digging within Hurricane Electric. Elizabeth and she was tearing apart the networks with different applications that I haven't used in years. Like Nmap turned into ZenMap, and so I told her to register, for Shodan and collect information that way, this way. She took it to a whole new stratosphere. She took it to the moon
Mhm.
and to the sun and back again. And I was picking away at the ASN,
Mhm.
right? So then one night I was talking to her and I said, look, this is when we had taken off to go because we're looking for a home out in the countryside. We went to this small town called Dauphin and we're looking for property outside of there. Now, they started shooting me and my sister, we got in 2 hotel rooms. My sister came with us, right?
Mhm.
So her and her partner in one hotel room, we're in the other, 2 separate areas, and they kept shooting me. I couldn't believe it. Like I was just getting assaulted from the direct energy weapons, and I actually audio recorded one of them. It was unbelievable.
Well, our drones are $15 million a piece now. And Robert Stanson, he pointed out, I would have never have known. I never would have known that I thought I wasn't important enough. And when he pointed it out, and then also with the laser pens, he has laser pens that are $400. Okay. And he gave it to me to use, and I'm pointing it. I swear to God, I go, Robert, this looks like alien tech. And not only alien tech, this thing looks like it's alive. It's acting and behaving like it is alive. So, I thought at first, oh, maybe $1 million. I thought I was kind of getting a little exaggerated, maybe. Then I find out, no, the ones that retired in 2018 were $4.3 million a piece. And now I'm finding out they're $15 million a piece. They carpet our sky. It's like a spider web, and you can see it at night. The chemtrails, it's like white little specks in the sky, and somehow it is feeding off of it. And I take my laser pen and it will open up a circle around these satellites. And I just kind of play around and I count, just not even trying hard. I will count 22 of them at least. And I'm not even trying.
They've blasted me with 50 beams, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They will blast me with 50, 60 beams. It's it's horrifying. It's absolutely terrifying to go through the big satellite attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when Elizabeth was digging, she found that there's 23 locations on Earth that they are going to use experiment with major satellite assaults. And she gave me, I've got that list still buried inside of the stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can pull it up, but there's only one place in Canada, and the place was where I was residing.
Canada is like an extension of America. It's like Canada is like an extension of CIA. I have my Canadian perp. He never even got a citizenship. He's working for the sheriffs and on top state secret projects. Do you get my point? CIA is doing their MK Ultra in Canada. CIA goes straight over into the UK and they're doing their torture on Assange. They don't bring him here. That's the electronic gitmo over there. They don't dare bring him here to the United States. And you know why, right? Because everybody will freak out, will flip out. They will have such a total magnifying of the light on them, whatever, and they don't want that. That would just totally it would totally expose them, and everybody would be freaking out. So they just do their stuff, and everybody's ignoring it and forgetting about Assange and all this stuff. But I believed for the very longest time about the satellites. The satellites, they are there, but they work in conjunction, very strangely, with these drones. And it's very, very weird. It's very strange. Some are saying that even the moon, because they've mined it and it's all holed out in the center, has become a satellite. And I said,
This is what an Elon Musk assault looks like,
mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm,
I think he's Starlink.
mm-hmm.
So this is one night I'm in the center. This is how many satellite assaults I went through.
Wow. Wow. This is good. This is good evidence. This is necessary.
It's a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
I was with my sister in a truck. I said, I got to get out of here because it sounds like a freight train and I hear it and I'm just freaking right out.
Wow.
So we took off to the arena, which is a giant metal clad building.
Mm-hmm.
They still blasted through that.
Well, that's why I've been saying for the longest time, you got to try and build somewhere in some kind of solid rock underground or into a hillside, mountainside, because that's the only way.
That's exactly what Barb said. She says all TIs have to leave and they have to go together and we have to bury something or go underground.
Yeah, you need to kind of,
Because
the
this
best
is the
places.
only way that any of us will survive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you look at that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why the hell are they fucking buzzing me like this?
What's that called? Phased array?
I don't know. Phased array is with like a pulse laser or radiation system. I don't know what this is. I just don't know. I've recorded that they were playing with shapes because they've assaulted me and I've captured it in three different ways. One was with NASA satellites. They did this to me, but it was like a fan. It was like a complete fan system. It was just unbelievable. I don't know why I'm not dead yet. I can't figure it out.
Yeah, they're hitting me. If I'm moving like an 80-year-old, it's because they can actually put pressure on you. It's actual physical pressure and push down on you.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm thinking about trying to get my little pyramid thing and over here. I mean, it will give me some, but it won't be like to a level like where I can actually do deep work because I'm capable of doing it. It's just them that stops me. And then they always use the threat of attacking my family. So, but anyway, I'm just kind of just FYI, I'm just kind of letting you know. I mean, I was told also by like Olga Kaminsky, she warned me because I sent in an undercover government op pretending to be a TI to be careful about when I talk about money. Like, oh, I'm going to get, off grid and stuff. Oh, you got money? Whatever. I have other TIs trying to ask me questions. I go, I can't talk about it anymore. I'm not going to discuss it with you. And, and sometimes I just get really suspicious about some of these TIs. Oh, I want to sue for money. I'm like, how's it going to help you to have money if you don't have a world or a planet? It's not going to help you if they're going to kill you. You don't have a planet. You're not making billions of dollars. They consider you have to be an elite. That you have to be on that kind of a level. And that's if they even allow you to be in their little club and they want you to be Satanists, So, but anyway, so just kind of trying to tell you, I am definitely doing it and working on that level, and not just for myself, but my family. I have some TIs who try to tell me what to do. They're going, oh, go over here and this, but like it's as if I'm going to do it for them, and I'm like, why don't you get your own money and get your own place? I'm doing it for my family, and then if I secure a place for them. You're welcome to come later or whatever, but my priority is my family, not you. You're grown adults. Figure it out. I've been talking about this stuff ad nauseum. And, they were also trying to get me to be like enemies with Robert. I go, I'm friend with Robert because of the shielding. Doesn't matter who it was. It could be a unicorn, a polka dotted unicorn. If they got the shielding, I was there. I'm there. If you got technology and the shielding, I'm there. But that was an interesting thing. Very, very interesting situation. And but anyway, so the point to all of it is that we definitely need to work on it. Not just me. I need to work on.
We lost Eden. Eden's gone. I wonder where she went.
Did we lose her? Did they make us lose her?
Yeah, I don't know where she went.
Oh, this stuff.
Where did you go? I hope I didn't upset her.
No, I think they'll make you lose a connection. They'll make you lose a connection. And they're trying to make it me physically uncomfortable where I'm sitting.
Well, I'm going to send her an email right now. She's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so happy she came to speak here and share some of her knowledge.
They do weird stuff with skunks in me. They can make a skunk, like, they'll squeeze it somehow with electronics and make it spray its stuff so I'm stuck smelling it. When they're mad at me, they do that. It's just like totally bizarre. Yeah, you can see why I do want the laser pen, because I actually, you can't see it, but my swedes are on top of my head, kind of standing over me, and then they kind of will try and push a pressure, and then I will take my laser pen when the battery is working, and I, take it, and whatever, the light at them, and that kind of makes them move away. I know. And one day, though, I don't know if we ever survive all of this, they'll write about it. We'll have to be in history books.
The horror movie.
It is a horror movie.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're definitely making history. There's no doubt about that. And they will talk about us.
I don't think they'll. I mean, we'll just. I don't know. I don't know. These people are so beastly.
Yeah, it's because they're also different species.
Project Weir or something. They're talking about some kind of Project Weir. What?
If they really are
Sun
different
Gazer
species.
needs to come on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Sun Gazer, or Barefoot. What is this? Barefoot Sun Gazer.
We have someone?
Okay, well, you know what? I'll open the room, and if people get too naughty, I will just shut the room down.
Okay.
Because I'm not feeling the best today.
Yeah, I don't want them. They're not the right species.
There we go.
Okay, see? No, I got
Yeah, so I guess Juliet's not feeling too well. It's been kind of a rough couple of days. She was out digging. So do you find that the glow ball laugh and lighting thing actually is working?
It does a little, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up modifying it. I'm going to get the laser pen type of power, this kind of level, and maybe even more powerful, and then do that and play around with it. So I'm going to modify it, and that's what I'm going to do. They were upset with me. They're always upset, but they do certain things, like to kind of let me know they're PO'd. But if it wasn't a problem, they won't bother me. If it wasn't a problem to them, they won't bother me. So it's doing something, and also at the same time, I kind of like it because I want something different. I want change, because they're always so injecting their actual negative frequencies. So I do that to kind of upset whatever. Just like I introduce frequencies through my my computer. It's not a laptop, it's a desktop. And I'll be playing that, and I play my Christian stuff, and I play Enoch, the Book of Enoch, all the time, because the Book of Enoch describes my crap very well. It describes my Swedes and the crap. And this is way beyond, I believe this is way beyond, because everybody keeps talking about Babylon. I go, no, we're past Babylon. We're going into Noah. Okay? This is Noah.
Yeah, my sister says we're in the times of Noah, but in reality, we're in the third trumpet. And we were trying to figure out the timeline. So I guess we've got 5 years.
Really? Because I keep getting the message.
2017.
See, mine is Noah.
We've got 2 more years to go.
Mine is about being really with God, preparing. Go, take care of yourself, protect yourself, go hide. Kind of like Enoch, he hid. And he just, he hid from man, and he devoted himself to just God. And, he hid from not just man, but society. And it was very, very important. But there's a problem, apparently, with these angels. And I got to figure it out. And but I know for me, what is talking to me is the Noah thing. And I do know about the trumpet. The trumpet is supposed to be the warning. It's very, very interesting. It's a warning, but my perps don't seem to respond to it. Because I have lots of Christians that go, oh, play um, the the shofar. And they're like, my perps that? So I kind of go along with what I'm getting, or a kind of feel on it. They kind of threaten me with my mom right now. And my FBI Latina agent, she likes to pick on her. So I have to move very, very quickly, and I want my mom in my possessions.
So did they? My sister wants to know. They do V2K in your skull, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's not in your ears. It's not in your ears. It's in your head.
The mother?
I don't know about my mom, but I know I need to hurry up and get my mom away from them, out of the nursing, the medical, because they're just, I mean, they're nice, some of them, but you're like in the vampire, lair. You're in their nest, these psychopaths that have no soul, spirit, whatever the hell they're doing, because, oh yeah, good, we got more bad spirits, whatever. I just find it kind of retarded, but that is what they do. And I need to get my mom. I need to hurry up and get her.
Where's your mother?
Where's your mom?
She's in Utah. She's in Utah. If I have to, I'll I can't have her.
She's in where?
Utah.
Oh, Utah.
Mormon land. It's like the second Vatican. You have people, I don't know if you've seen it, the people that they're like their kids, oh, they were causing altars, and they were doing all this satanic stuff in order to cause altars and blah 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 blah. This is what Utah Mormons do to their kids.
There's some wicked fucking people in there.
Yeah, there's some really wicked people in the world, that's for sure.
Yeah. So it depends on how much my perps they keep threatening me. If I have to, I'll go pick my mom up, and I'll work on whatever I got here. I'd rather have her be in my presence and me, watchdogging it and policing it, and doing what I got to do in order to protect her.
Well, I've invited somebody from the chat room wanted to come in. I don't know if she's going to actually make it in. We'll take a peek here. She said she was downloading Zoom.
Yeah, the laser light really does mess up their frequencies. Somehow it stops it, even for a brief few minutes. So I'm going to end up getting more of this.
Yeah, I hear it. You think they have that there? I would. When we had to fight with Grandma, that was her own decision. We didn't want her to go.
Yeah, it has not been a good journey, that's for sure.
Well, they say that we chose this because we're supposed to be the fighters. We're the warriors, for some reason. And I do believe it's not just a spiritual war. I think it's an interdimensional one. And
Well, I mean, what kind of a human being wants to change the DNA, kill a bunch of people? What kind of a soulless human being is saying the world is only for me and not for you people because you're lesser? I'm an oligarch. I have money. I'm special. I have a shitty attitude, and I cannot have any compassion for anyone other than myself. That's what this looks like.
Yeah, well, to me, it's projection. It is total projection. Whatever they felt, it's like, I'm doing this just to justify. It's a justification. I mean, just like they want to call themselves gods. If you're God, you don't need to steal. You do not need to be a thief. You create. You manifest.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
So, if you got it all together, if you were smart, because for some reason, they don't seem to think that they want to manifest. They got some kind of guilt complex. I don't know, because there's another thing a lot of people won't talk about. It's not because I'm against the LGBTQ community. There's something weird about the the Nazi occultism, and it seemed to have been about, because it's everything is this extreme hatred towards the female sacred principle. And because what happened is, like, they're gay and then they're into this mass orgy, but they hate the female out of this anger to this point of wanting to kill everything that the female represents. Female represents, earth is female. The earth represents life. Women are birth. They don't want us to have babies. They don't want us to reproduce. They don't want us to live. Living is female. Living is the female principle. The male is all about annihilation, war, and then also they're talking about the 24,000 years or the 32,000 years where we cyclically go from the male into the female. We're in the center of the universe. There are absolute, complete timelines. They're real. They've been studying this for thousands of years, like in the Hindu religions, also in the Chinese. And they're talking about, they literally are going from the Piscean into the Aquarius. These are calendars. And but even some of the Christianity wants to oppress that. To me, that's gods. It's still gods. So I'm like, I don't like that, I don't like that. Because to me, I'm like, the kings, they found Jesus through the stars. But that's exactly what it is. And then my perps who are females, my Swedish, they want to, we're feminists. I'm like, you're not feminists. You don't represent. You're trying to pretend to be a male. You can't even get that straight. But that's exactly what it is. And it's all about dying. It's all about death. They profit off of death. They're trying to create something else. Transhumanism. They're trying to absolutely kill. And I've literally heard stories that they've done this to other species and other planets. And somehow that's been their negotiations. And that they literally agreed to do this. But
Have you ever heard of that black goo stuff?
Yeah, they talk about the nanotech.
That black goo stuff.
You want to hear how weird I think this is? I think that that's their demonic DNA. I'll bet money on it. I know you think it's crazy. You might think it's insane. Oh my God, you got that in you? I'm not worried about it. We don't
know what they've done. I mean, some analysis has been done of some of the chemtrails. I mean, it's blood and micro bits of aluminum and like, just what the,
my pearls, they'll change it. They'll change it. They have changed it. Those are a different recipe. I literally go out. This is how it's changed. I'm sitting outside. It's not dirty. So when you're Morgellons, you're sensitive. You have to have the environment cleaner. You're sensitive to the chemicals. You got to do all this crazy stuff to try and get some control. Okay. And I will go outside and literally it's like I get these bug bites and I'm not seeing the bugs. I'm sitting next to a bush and I literally start getting, it's almost like there was a manifestation. I don't know what, but these bug bites, I was getting them around my ankle. I mean, like they were munching on me or whatever I was eating, some kind of sugar that somehow I was tasting really good to them. And I talked to another person who has Morgellons. Her name is Trish Munoz. She was adopted. She's always going, I want to know who my perps are. I go, your perps are military. Because every time you're adopted, you get military. And anyway, so she talks about it. I go, yeah, literally, I've watched it. I've watched the Swedes.
Picked something up here that says CERN abandons key to the bottomless pit and locust army CERN in black goo. Now, they've deleted all of these videos. What is going on?
They're hiding. They're hiding. I didn't know about CERN until my Swedes. They kept bringing it up.
Really? Yeah, they've deleted so many of these videos.
CERN is their god. Switzerland is their god. They look up to them. They're the perfect white. Yep.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
I'm looking at this. Why would they? I don't understand with what's going on with YouTube and their big exodus of booting people out. Yeah, it's all real, Kelly. Kelly, it definitely is all real. Their curse seems like they have no imagination, need to steal from us. Yeah, they're stealing the most important and expensive intellectual property. That's our bio signatures, our DNA signatures, our mobility and motion signatures, if they had independent thought and true intelligence, they would be able to compose these articles of robotics without the need of thieving from other human beings and torturing and murdering people.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. If you only were involved, you could hear my conversations with them. It's very interesting, but also it reminds me of the AI quantum computer. You know, when they program something, you're not going to win an argument. It's not like you're losing an argument. You're just never going to convince a computer to change its mind. And that's kind of what they act like. They act like that, and they also act like binary. Like, oh, you can't be this way, or you can't be that way, or you two humans aren't getting along perfectly. You know, it has to be very black and white. And I find that that's why I'm starting to really highly suspect a lot of it has to do with the quantum computers. I don't even say AI anymore. I just say quantum computers. And I spoke directly to Benny, and I'm waiting to see the response. And but I don't expect him to kind of divulge, this kind of information on Twitter, to the public. Because it's very, very simple. And you don't have to have, what do you call it? What is it? The secrets, you don't have to have security clearances anymore to have the knowledge and say, oh, this is how you can get it. Like, for instance, my FBI Latina agent, she got upset with me because I started going, we have drones. We're on the kill list. And then so I start looking it up, and I start learning the terminology. And it's called the disposition matrix. And of course, it's part of Obama's administration. But not only that, the FBI maintains this drone disposition matrix kill list. And I'm like going, everybody keeps talking about how we're on this terrorist list, da, 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 da. And I'm like, how come we can't get this information? And so I kind of just said it straight out to him. I'm like, where do we get this information? More than one ways. And then I've also told Karen, I said, our real main problem is the quantum computer. That's the big weapon that's used on us. That's what needs to be shut down, because none of these idiots can work without it. They're not a threat. Okay, that is it. That's the pinnacle. That is the top. And that's what needs to be worked on. Includes all of them. I've said to people, TIs, I said, they're not using just neuro-linguistic programming on me, trying to do the mind control part of the V2K. They use it on my Swedes. I mean, to most people, you would think they would be freaking out. But they don't. They're only dealing with one perp, from one country. Me, on the other hand, I'm dealing with this thing. And they care about the quantum computer, the AI quantum computer, and the neuro-linguistic programming. So I've got my humanoid, whatever, computer or electronics, whatever, communicating with a different species. And it's taking orders and directions from them. And it's like, as usual, my stuff just falls on deaf ears. But that's still besides the point. I'm glad you told me more about CERN, and I am the type, I will push it. I don't sit and wait. Of course, they don't want me to have.
Yeah, the CERN thing was really surprising and weird. So, I mean, if Dr. Catherine Horton could have elaborated on why some are connected to CERN, that would be a big deal, because, I mean, she worked for CERN, right, apparently?
Well, she says she's an atheist, yet she's talking about all the Masonic stuff. And I'm like, you worked at CERN, and yeah, I know, we're supposed to just ignore all that. Yeah, you're a particle physicist. You're a physicist. You should know about the world's material equipment and should know how to have the right kind of shielding. Instead, what are you doing? You're doing 10? I mean, come on. I mean, that's like having, you have an IQ of 2 when you're a PhD particle. Was she PhD? Particle physicist?
Well, you know what? The wonderful thing about the internet is anybody can be anything they want to be. They can be a rainbow unicorn, pooping ice cream, or they can be a Pegasus rainbow, taking you off to the magical land of internet and bringing you joys. So you can pretty much be anybody you want to be.
We don't, I mean, I don't really know. All I know is she took in a lot of reports from a lot of people with Mr. Binney, and nothing was done with that. So where did that information go?
Yeah.
Why didn't she?
I mean, because I have friends that are still like literally romantically in love with her. Just like, you know, what is she gonna
Somebody's
be?
in love with her, really?
Yeah.
Well, I guess you get, you get stalkers. I'm happy with looking like a potato. I don't need anybody in love with me. I already have my partner. Bless his heart. I love him to pieces. But I just don't think that people need to meet people on the web for romance, right? I mean, look at how many horror stories have been born out of that.
I don't even like to think about it. Yeah. Somebody was so, when Lisa T.I. came up, they were, I don't even know how to begin to even describe emotionally. They just, like, as if it didn't happen. It didn't exist. What happened to Lisa T.I.? And I'm just like, just going, oh. But anyway, when it comes to this TI stuff and getting involved, it's just too hard. It's just really too hard. Romance, any of that. And I just don't even go there. But, you know, people are going to do that. They need to kind of keep hope and have some of their delusions and, you know, whatever. But, you know, as long as your delusions don't get too harmful for you, you know. Yeah, it's sad, but you know, in time, things reveal themselves when people are not doing anything, and when they've got a tonnage of information and documents, and then there is no they're not producing anything. That starts to become very, very obvious. How long are you going to sit on this crap? Okay, just like some of them supposedly these class action suits, and I'm like, you know, you should have been able
There's
to.
never, I'll tell you this much. There's never going to be a class action lawsuit. These people who are doing this are wealthy. They have paid their own little mock armies. I mean, for example, in the city that I was in, it involved cab companies, 3 vehicle companies, the many First Nations reserve people.
That always disappoints me.
Like hundreds and hundreds of people. And the thing is, this is all done with our tax dollars. And these people are ignorant enough to actually think that and believe that they're doing something great for society. They're destroying themselves.
That's what they did in Libya. That's why I bring it up. The CIA, they infiltrate, and then they get their own people to kill their own nation, their own leaders, destroy their own country, and kill themselves. I mean, and I'm like, are you guys like going to eventually figure this out? You know, just like these activists, it's the same thing. They hijacked your, you know, they get their psychological, they just like their psychiatrists when the MK Ultra, here we go again. Yeah, and like that's
I want to show you this because when people say that the routing is actually not the way it's shown to demonstrate, and that's not how we got on the internet. They actually believe that a unicorn poops ice cream and that we fly off on a magical place on a unicorn. So here's the ice for the people who don't believe in the ASN. Let them have their nice little ice cream.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's the wonderful place for you.
That's how you get internet. No radio waves.
Yeah, no radio waves. No radio communication. Like just insanity, right? That's just insanity.
Well, they're trying to convince the people that are not too bright and are scared and stupid, and they corral them. And like I told people, I'm not a gatekeeper. That's where you can start to realize, you know, I'm not putting up big shop and then we're just staying kind of in place and then blowing smoke, you know, and doing the unicorn stuff, what you're talking about. and giving all the big sob stories and well, it gets worse. Not only are you not getting anywhere, you're wasting so much time. It is getting deadly dangerous, and people are dying. They really are dying. I wanted to go to Washington, D.C. Lisa T.I. wanted to go to Washington, D.C. We were gonna go. There was many, and now that has been so ixnayed, I don't even know what the heck happened. And I already know there's people, and some of these groups will not do legal stuff. And I try to tell people that, and they won't listen to me. There's a reason for it. But you know, I don't need to go down that kind of crazy unicorn poop path. I don't need to go there. And, you know, and I already realized I was not just gaslit. I was gaslit to a point where they were giving me a message that was meant for someone else. And I'm like, that's why I was so confused. My head practically spinned. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, this was way beyond, you know, what has this got to do with the tea in China? This is like, you know, what happened to the alignment with the planets kind of thing. You know, I was so lost and confused going, what does this have to do with point A and point B? And all this other stuff. And, you know, that I had been talking about and discussing. And I'm realizing, you know, a few things in this communication land, because they don't have to do it directly. They don't have to do it here on the internet, on the, you know, text messaging or by the phone. They can do it to V2K, to other TIs or other perps. They've done it. They have done it. And that's why I have to, and not only that, not even through hacking. They don't even have to do it through hacking. Something happened. But, you know, those are kind of the paths I have to look at. And someone's taking notes on me, taking notes to repeat it back to me. And I'm like, kind of going, interesting. But, you know, I kind of been there lately. That's what's been going on with me. And I touched a nerve. And I know somebody they were told to come in and see me and talk to me. And I'm okay with that. And but I'm like kind of going, you're not what I was interested in. I'm interested in my perps here. But, you know, if they all work together, it makes sense. You're going to protect my bad ones. That makes sense. You're going to come in. You're going to interfere. You might even get paid for it. You might even get paid a lot of good money for it. But I'm aware. I am aware. I'm more than aware. And I'm taking notes. And I scared them, apparently. And they weren't even
who's coming into the room?
Who is it? Rose Unaf. I don't know who.
Hey, how are you? I can show it.
Oh, hey,
Did you
Rose.
like the unicorn?
Yeah, I like the unicorn. Yeah, it was cool.
What other unicorn did you take to visiting with this magical land?
Yeah. So I had Facebook Ireland on my network. I mean, why would they be on my network? No offense against Ireland, but
They're always in there. They're always in there for me. I don't understand the whole Ireland connection. But we're dealing with people who are being trafficked, right?
Yeah.
And, so this is quite the elaborate network that's going on.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's really awful. I mean, they I don't get the dues or anything, but I get voice to skull, and I get people harass me in the building, where I live. I live in a big apartment building in New York City, and I get like noise campaigns, like my next door neighbor plays their music loud. People scream at me when I leave the building or come back to the building. People harass me out in the street and stuff, and that's what I get. I get a lot of gang stalking, and voice to skull, So.
Well, we've had to flee. We've had to flee 8 hours away from where we live at Mom's. We couldn't take it anymore. Then we had to leave from a hotel we got into another hotel. And so here we are living the life of misery in a hotel.
Yeah, it's awful because I'm not a criminal. I even had jury duty in New York City in Manhattan with it was a asbestos case, you know, and so I don't know, like they're treating us like we're criminals or something. It's
Yeah,
pretty
that's
awful.
how they control us
Well,
and keep us
we
under
are
their
listed.
human experimentation.
We are listed as international criminals.
Wow.
That's how they are able to transport the medical information around globally and getting around the laws.
Yeah, yeah, wow. So we're like on a terrorist watch list or something, you know, like that's awful.
Pretty much.
We're on the drone kill list too, and the FBI maintains that database. I'm gonna call it an evening because sitting in one place, they're giving me a headache and making it painful.
Well, you know what? Good night, Nina. Thanks for sharing your knowledge and talking, and hopefully you learned a little bit. And
Yes,
good mix stuff.
of course.
I'm not going to stay on here for much longer. I'm going to talk with Rose for a bit and see who pops in.
Okay.
And then I'm going to cut her down because I guess Juliet is passed out too.
Okay. Okay, I hope she feels better soon. Thank you for introducing your friends to me. I appreciate it. I appreciate everything you're doing.
We're all friends. We're all meeting each other, and that's what we should have is an open discussion here. And we just got to keep giving each other administration rights and hunt the bad people out. Right?
Yeah. We need. Yeah. Yeah, I already know. I already know what I need to do, and I got to keep pushing it. It's not just about exposure; it's actually getting it connected to the legal stuff, and because that's the only way it's going to stop it. It's the only way it's going to stop it. And but anyway, I'm gonna get off because they're just kind of doing their thing.
Good night, Nina. My sister really enjoys you. She says good night too.
Okay, thank you. So I appreciate it. It's nice meeting her. Okay, you guys have a good night. Okay, God bless. Okay,
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.